It's day 3 of the Tim Hortons Brier here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. 2 games on the ice this morning.
I just remember walking around this arena, and I knew then that I would have to somehow find a way to manage my way here. Saskatchewan is all about the passion. It runs deep as green colors, and it has for years. It's a great honor to wear the green, and yeah, here we go. Your team, Saskatchewan, you know how they introduce us onto the ice. It's that moment. Waited a long time to hear that.
It's Monday morning here at the Credit Union Center, site of the Tim Hortons Brier, the 6th time that the city of Saskatoon has hosted the national championship. And last night, a couple of great stories from Draw 5. Final stone and extra ends as Jamie Cooey from the Yukon Northwest Territories had a chance to play spoiler.
Well, he took chances away from Glenn Howard all night, and on his final stone, Glenn Howard buried it as much as he could. Not good enough for Jamie Cooey.
10-6 was the final as they celebrate. And the crowd was going off each and every time that Saskatchewan was playing, and that included last night. Scott Manners, final stone against Quebec.
Well, he's up 2 coming home. All he needs to do is hit and stick on the top stone. Makes no mistake, the crowd loved every second of last night.
As they picked up another victory, 6-5 was the final, and they improved to 2-1. And as we look at the standings, it is Alberta, still perfect. You have Nova Scotia, Manitoba, also with 3 wins. And there are feature games, Saskatchewan and the Yukon Northwest Territories with 2-1 records. We are so glad you're with us on this Monday morning at the Tim Hortons Brier. Brian Mudrick with Kathy Gauthier. Everyone's so friendly in Saskatchewan. We've been told to mind our manners. And of course, they're all talking about Scott Manners. That has been the slogan so far. What a great story. He said it was 1989. His dad took him to this very rink. He said, I had to find a way to get here someday and compete. Well, he is here. And now the skip from Lloydminster, hoping to do something special with all these fans behind him.
Well, he already has. He is the top skip when it comes to hits. And that's not a huge surprise, given the province of Saskatchewan's history of being great hitters. But last night he also made some great draws, so he's finding his form. He's very comfortable here. He's got the crowd on his side. It is a great story in the making.
Jamie Cooey, not very nice to the province of Ontario yesterday. He beats Brad Jacobs. He beats Glenn Howard. Now, Jamie's best performance out of Brier was a 6-5 record, and that was in Regina back in 2006. How can he possibly sneak his way into the playoffs maybe this year?
Well, it's tough for Jamie. We always see the roller coaster from Yukon Northwest Territories because of the lack of competition. But what we do see consistently is this man rising to the occasion. He did yesterday, and who better to want to rise to the occasion to against Saskatchewan this morning.
So 2 games on the ice this morning at the Credit Union Center. Quebec taking on Ontario, and of course our feature game, Yukon Northwest Territories up against that man, Scott Manners. We will mind our manners next here from Saskatoon.
The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Roll Up the Rim to Win. It's time for Tim's. The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association. By M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. And by Sponge Towels, paper towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
Two games on the ice this morning at the Credit Union Center. We will keep you up to date. Quebec taking on Team Ontario. Craig Saville a bit under the weather, and that means that Glenn's son will play in this one. Saskatchewan taking on the Yukon Northwest Territories. Both teams at 2-1. That is our feature game on Sheet C. A lot of crowd support for Scott Manners and this team from Saskatchewan facing Jamie Cooey. It's time to meet the teams, and it's brought to you by Ford. Drive away.
Hi, I'm Scott Manners, skip of Team Saskatchewan. At lead, we have Mike Armstrong. At second, we have Ryan Dice. At third, we have Tyler Lang, and we play out of the Battleford Curling Club, Battleford, Saskatchewan.
Hi, I'm Jamie Cooey, skip at Team Northwest Territories Yukon. Our lead is Rob Borden, our second is Brad Churakowski, our third is Tom Dogler, and we curl out of the Yellowknife Curling Club in Yellowknife Northwest Territories.
Rock colors for this morning's game. Northwest Territories, Yukon, Jamie Cooey with the Yellowstones. Team Saskatchewan will be throwing the Redstones, and the first time ever that a team from the Battleford Curling Club has represented Saskatchewan. A lot of excitement for Scott Manners and his team facing Jamie Cooey, of course, who played spoiler last night against Team Ontario. Also beat Brad Jacobs of Team Northern Ontario. Should be a close game this morning, Kathy.
Well, it should be a great game. For Jamie Cooey, comes from some great genetic backgrounds. Of course, his twin sister, Carrie Galusha, the skip 2 weeks ago, well, last weekend actually, at the Scotties. His brother, Kevin Cooey, of course, skipping the Alberta entry. And so they know this drill. He's been here a number of times, and Saskatchewan's just getting appropriately fitted by Kay Montgomery. He has some wrist issues before we get underway today.
It's third Tyler Lang.
And what a great opportunity for this team from Saskatchewan. It is both a blessing and a curse when you play in a Brier or a Scotties in your own province, when you come from a province like Saskatchewan, because the fans love this sport so much, and they want you to do so well, and that can work either way for you. But Scott has done such a great job of sucking up every moment and enjoying it, and he is playing loose, he is playing relaxed, and he is playing well.
And it's pretty incredible, too, the chemistry in coming together. Scott Manners saying they've maybe played around 50-plus games together and have gelled, and now dreams coming true for this team from the Battlefords as they are in their first ever Tim Hortons Brier. First ever feature game here on national television here on TSN. Yukon Northwest Territories won the hammer, so to start things off here on this Monday morning.
Are we good to go? Yeah? Okay.
We are good to go, Mike Armstrong. He'll settle into the hack and he'll throw lead stones for Team Saskatchewan as we begin action on this Monday morning.
Just got a Tiger Wood tape.
Right in, guys. Hair down. Yeah. 3. Not too bad. As tight as you can. Come on.
It is very, very cool in this building, and it will be interesting to see how the teams adjust. Saskatchewan was out here last night. Jamie Cooey out here last night. It was the warmest this building has been since the players first arrived, and so the conditions were a little bit different. Very cold in here this morning. Ice very crisp, and so things will run a little bit differently.
Robert Borden leads stones for the team from the Yellowknife Curling Club.
You have to go. Just maybe a 3.
Okay. Oh, just leave a corner, leave a corner. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Kathy, time now for the game plan.
Well, we start first with Saskatchewan, keeping it simple early. I just finished talking about the difference from last night to today. Really want to figure out what that's like. And the 7th man, well, they've got a 5th player, they've got a coach. The 7th is the crowd. And last night, a couple of times, the crowd got so excited and cheering them on for the front end sweeping his draws. They could not hear, could not see the path. And it's really important for the front end to look up and look for hand motions. The crowd wants to help, but sometimes they don't need to help as much as they did.
Can't touch it.
Oh, you're all here, right?
It's not bad.
Just tease.
No, no.
Just tease.
No,
Can't touch it. Can't touch it.
Just let it stop. It's trying to tuck. Good shot, Mike.
And for Yukon Northwest Territories, again, very simple early on until Jamie figures out what the ice is doing. And that Sunday formula, Brian, 2 big games he played yesterday. Maintain that. Sometimes the edge goes off Jamie and he relaxes a little bit. It shouldn't happen this morning playing the hometown favorites. But that is the Achilles heel of this team.
And the game plan is brought to you by World Financial Group. Your dreams, our strategies.
Real hard line. Hard. Gotta go. Just a 5. Hard.
No, it's less than a 5. 5 would have been 8 foot. That's why it curled a little bit.
Top 8. Pretty quick here now.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Well, Kathy, if by keep it simple, you meant a bunch of rocks in play, I think that's what we're going to get here in this first end.
5. Line's good.
Clean. There now. Okay, well then. Clean
6
it.
on it.
Yeah,
You got a clean line.
Get down.
Hard line. Just
Hard
relax.
line.
Just line. Yes. Hard.
Yes.
Hard.
Hard.
Stay with it.
Hard!
Hard line.
Hard!
Go, go, go. You're
Go!
by. You're by. You're by. Let it work. Let it work.
And a great shot to get that just by.
You see Tyler Lang there on the right doing the brushing, apparently also under the weather, not feeling well. And we can only hope that they don't get the Scotties bug that went through the team when we were in Red Deer just a week and a half ago.
Well, you see Tyler right beside the rock sweeping. When you are not feeling well, this is really, really tough. He was sick earlier this morning, and we'll see if he's able to hang in there. Obviously, you're Brier. This is your dream. You hate to leave the ice surface, but sometimes you just can't do what you want to do. Craig Saville also out with the flu. Once it starts to spread in this kind of environment, as we saw at the Scotties, it goes pretty quickly.
I believe Scott Howard played last night, now in the lineup again this morning, taking on Team Quebec.
Runs that stone back, able to get one out, rolls out the shooter. Makes things a little bit better, but he does cross the guard, so there is no longer a run back for Jamie Cooey and his team.
Clean.
Stay down, guys. Stay down,
clean. Yep.
Yep.
Hard line.
Hard line. Hard. Real hard.
Real good.
Real hard.
Hard line.
Real
Hard.
hard.
Line's good.
Real hard.
Hard
Go,
line.
go.
Hard
Go.
line. Whoa, 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 whoa.
And great brushing to get that by.
That one totally buried, and now you see Saskatchewan lying two in pretty good shape here without hammer in one.
Watch how little room there is between this stone and the guard as they go by. Youch.
I believe scooch is the word you would use.
That's a beautiful scooch. You bet.
Whoa.
And so for Brad being asked to clear up the front, those two guards are locked. There is no run back. Jamie trying to open things up here with last rock in this first hand. Wants to make sure he's got a shot.
Two.
Just a two, bud.
Starting pretty quick, eh?
Or, yeah.
What do you think?
Two.
Is that a lot or no?
Yours won't.
That should be good. I think you want to say high, if anything, too, right?
No, it's not bad.
I think that's close.
Kathy, curling's such a big sport from your legs out as well. Obviously, the power coming from your legs, and when you're not feeling well, you have to feel for Tyler because that's a big part of not only pushing out, but knowing your weight, your judgment, and coming out of the hack. How difficult is that?
It's really, really tough, Brian, because it is not just the physical strength. It is your brain's ability to feel what that leg drive, what that push feels like. And it isn't light brushing. These guys are working very, very hard, putting all their body weight on the broom when they're brushing and trying to just mentally stay above what your body is telling you it should do. It's going to be tough. It will be his decision and perhaps Kay Montgomery's about when he needs to leave, if he does need to leave.
Tom Nogler removes the red guard.
And Tyler ran back to get some water after his last shot. Really important as well when you're not well to hydrate.
And especially with the adrenaline going in your home building, the fans behind you, sometimes you forget to drink. You have to make sure, and I know sometimes teammates will remind you, make sure you stay hydrated.
Now Saskatchewan really well set up here in this first end.
Just two, baby.
Got room.
One.
Trying to lock the guards so that wherever Tyler places this, they want to make sure that it does not hang out enough, that there is some sort of run into the two stones belonging to Saskatchewan in the house.
Push. Everything. Hard. Hard.
Go.
Great scrub from Dice Armstrong to drag it over.
Didn't get far enough. That's the access to the Yellowstone Jamie was hoping for.
Right weight, it would have been there.
I can throw either turn.
Definitely has more room on this in-turn side.
Speed. Whoa. Get him. Hard. Read up. Read up. Hard. Harder.
Nogler by the guard, runs it back, catches a piece. Can't make the double.
Well, they got one off, and he opened up the front a little bit. Just a little tight out of his hand. If he was straight up, he would have run that stone straight
curling
back.
Hard. You feel that good?
Right?
That's curling hard.
Yeah,
You
Brad's
feel that
curled
pretty
too,
good.
right?
Yeah, Brad 3 is good too. Curled. Off that line.
Quite a bit more ice.
Right, 4 foot, hey?
Yeah,
Pretty
we
much right on
could. I was thinking 12 foot with this one.
We won't get to that one either turn. Just coming right down on it, I suppose.
Top 80 12, I think.
Okay. Going right in, Ty.
Yeah.
Chance for Scott Manners here to draw weight. He's got a little bit of play in where this stone goes. If he comes down to the face of it, it's fine. If he's top 12, it's fine.
Line's good.
Some great numbers for Scott Manners in his first Brier.
Room.
Full Ryan. Let it work.
Make sure, right to it.
Where?
All there.
No.
Scott Manners from the Battleford Curling Club.
Line's fine.
Still there, bumping a touch.
Line's
Make
really
sure
long.
Rose out of Lloydminster,
freezing.
played there for many years.
Maybe a small tap.
We're over curling.
Whoa. Let it die, let it die, let it die, let it die, let it die. Sit. That's right, Scott.
Now, it came right out the other side, and consistency has been a big part of this Saskatchewan team.
Sorry, buddy.
Some great numbers in their wins, but even in their loss to BC, it was not a horrible performance. A great shot made by Jim Cotter to win that game. Those are huge team numbers. Huge.
Might be hack, firm hack.
Speaks well to consistency. And in a week that is as long as this, that is a huge, huge bonus. You play consistent, you will win the majority of your games. Now a little pocket for Jamie has been created.
Back close. Whoa.
Last night, Jamie curling 81% in that win over Glenn Howard, who was at 75.
Right off.
Nope.
Right off. Whoa.
Nope.
Yep. Whoa.
Cooey makes the hit, and lies one.
Good start for Jamie. Took advantage early of that little bit of a miscue from Scott Manners to get in there and to get shot.
Definitely bored, eh?
What's that?
Definitely bored.
That's very light the way it curls there. Yeah. Tough shot. If he hits us on the nose, though. Oh, we score. He does on the nose.
Yeah. Blank.
Not a ton of ice, so.
There's a very, very long guard, and there is a lot of movement in this center path.
Close.
Hard.
Yep.
Hard.
Final stone here in one without hammer for Scott Manners. A huge scrub right out of Manners' hands. Just get it by that guard. Stick the hit, and Saskatchewan lies 2 without.
Well brushed. They talked about how much that spot moved, and boy, did it ever. Great brushing by Ryan Dice. Mike Armstrong, first thing in the morning. That'll loosen you up.
And now the fourth is on for Jamie Cooey.
I think you're just nice hack this time. Just hack here. That was a good board, eh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you were all aboard there.
What are they playing, Kathy?
He's just playing easy way to get down to the shot stone.
Pretty good path here. Not too bad.
What's that?
Not too bad of a path here.
Nose hit on that stone in the 4-foot would give him 1.
Final stone.
Good hack. Close.
Here in one at the Credit Union Center for Jamie Cooey.
Off.
Facing 2 Saskatchewan stones.
No. Close. No.
Churkowski, Borden, not a broom to it, none needed, as he hits it on the news. So Jamie Cooey and the Yukon Northwest Territories pick up their single and lead 1-0 after 1. Quebec in Ontario also on the ice this morning. Glenn Howard Throwing the yellow stones, you see Robert Desjardins with the 2 red stones. Final one here for Howard. Looks to be just trying to limit the damage to 1, Kathy.
Well, I think if he can get a little bit more to the face of the stone, he might stick around a little bit, but it is about not having to make a really tough draw early. If you give up 1, you give up 1, and that's what he does.
So Robert Desjardins from Chicoutimi will steal as Quebec leads 1-0 after 1. Of course, in that game, you see Scott Howard into the game. Craig Saville is out. Craig Saville also a bit under the weather. As we bring you back to our feature game, 2 games on the ice this morning at the Credit Union Center. It was the Yukon Northwest Territories, Jamie Cooey making that nice quiet tap for a single, and that means Scott Manners has the hammer here with action underway in 2.
Or Scott Hammer has his manners.
Scott has the hammer, he has the manners. Mind your manners.
And
I will
go.
get it together at some point this morning, Kathy. Glad that you're here to straighten me out, as per usual.
Normal. Nice throw, Brad. Straight at it. Yeah.
We are on second stones, and that is why Jamie is allowed to remove that guard, even though we've just come to this game. They've gotten to seconds.
Yep. Yep. Whoa.
And this is the keeping it simple that we talked about in the beginning of the show. That last end, a big break for Jamie when Scott Manners' first stone went deep and overcurled and created a pocket. But he was in trouble for much of that first end. And so for Jamie, got out of that end unscathed and with the point, and would now like to just keep it a little bit simple.
Just clean.
Oh, Brian Dice.
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep. Shot. Okay.
That was good. Easy. That was just normal what you threw last. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Hard, boys, hard.
Gotta go real hard. Real hard. Whoa. Harder. Whoa, whoa. Ooh-wee.
And a flash for Churkowski.
Yeah.
We'll keep track of shots this game in terms of in-turns and out-turns.
Okay.
Both teams definitely favor the in-turn and are much better at it. In terms of execution, that miss just thrown an out-turn.
6.
And sometimes you're forced to play a certain turn because of the way a guard or an end has set up. But when the numbers start to be really, really predominant, what it does send is a very strong message that there is a preferred turn, something that other teams scouting will look for, especially later on in the week, to force your opponent. Look at the difference. In terms of Yukon Northwest Territories, the first number is the number of in-turns versus out-turns, especially on the draws, and they're much, much better percentage-wise. When you look at Saskatchewan, they absolutely do favor the in-turn, but interestingly enough, when you look at their percentages, they're equally good at both. So in that case for Saskatchewan, the message may be that they'll go to the in-turn as a preference, but the out-turn is fine. But if I were scouting Yukon Northwest Territories, if I could force the out-turn, I certainly would.
Straight up.
Is that something these teams are conscious of, Kathy, and will do?
You bet. You bet. They will get the reports at the end of every night. Their coaches will be looking at those. It's any extra edge that you can get over a team. Now, that does not mean that Jamie and his team cannot throw out turns. Not at all. But they definitely have a preference. So when an athlete has a preference, why wouldn't you try to force them to do what they're maybe not as comfortable with throwing, or it's not their favorite?
Good way, control.
Yep, gotta go.
Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hard.
Really hard. Really hard.
Hard.
Really hard.
Hard. Keep going hard.
Hard.
No roll. Nothing. Let it go.
Tyler Lang will keep the shooter around. Saskatchewan lies 2.
And the reason you heard Scott say that he didn't want to roll is he was trying not to group these stones, not to give the opportunity to Yukon Northwest Territories to make this double. And with that roll, the opportunity presents itself for Tom Nogler.
Whoa! Close. Clean. Yep. Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, boy.
And Nogler spills them both.
Good throw. Manages to catch the one thin enough to get the double and to stick the shooter.
It's there on its own.
Tapping.
Whoa.
7 on
Kathy,
its own.
would you ever maybe play the double and just try to keep that hammer, or you still try to force at this point and still pick up your 2?
Oh, for sure you could. If Scott Manners wasn't comfortable or ready to play yet, he could easily either hit and roll or play the double and try to move on to the next end and see what develops. But it's a great testament to how comfortable he is on this ice, wants to play the free, still looking for a way to generate 2 here in the second end.
And it helps when your third makes a shot like that, as Tyler Lang, the nice freeze.
Good judge, Ryan.
In the nose.
Normal peel or?
Yeah.
Yeah, the what?
Peel.
Hey?
Just peel.
Just peel. Okay, on a meatball.
First stone here in the second end for Jamie Cooey.
Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. Yes. Hard. Real hard. Real hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Bangs the rocks, and the red goes away.
Go, Jamie.
And there's your call now, Brian. Before the yellow stone that belonged to Yukon Northwest Territories was behind the T line, it created an opportunity for a freeze.
We're there for a sec.
Now that Jamie's made that good shot and stayed there, they're both in front of the T line, and so Scott Manners will play the double.
Be out in the 12-foot there. I'll throw like 8.5, 8.5.
Had a chance to chat with Scott Manners before the
Get them both.
Tim Hortons Brier got underway, and he was asked about the crowd here. Is that something that you would try to maybe ignore, that you need to focus and pay a lot of attention to each and every shot? He said, you know what, I'm going to feed off that crowd, I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to use that to my advantage.
Smart man, that's way too loud to ignore, and why wouldn't you try to utilize such a great opportunity?
Makes the double, and everything goes.
Good weight. That was nice. Good normal. That was good.
You know, he's a pretty incredible story when you think about it. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to represent your province. I know how special it was for you, Kathy, when you got to nationals. He's a farmer just outside of Lloydminster, played in Lloydminster for many years. Under the radar when it came to curling fans, because we haven't seen a lot of him on the national level. He's curled in the Bonspiels, though. Played with Jamie King for a while. I think he was an alternate for Randy Furby back in the day. And absolutely thrilled to be here. And just one of those great stories that goes to show you hard work, and if you believe in yourself, you can make it to the national level.
Mine's real good.
Needed a bit. 5-6 right now.
Just
5.
clean, just 6 is good. We're good. We're good. Don't kill yourselves. Get a little deeper. Okay, that's good.
Right, Jamie.
That'll keep it in the fat part.
Good job, Jamie.
Atta boy.
Yep.
Team Saskatchewan, of course, curling out of the Battleford Curling Club.
Hit it and roll. Your way, Ryan.
A few of them in Saskatoon and a few of them in Lloydminster, and they thought this would make the most sense for both, so that's the home rink. And I know Battleford was very excited, their first ever provincial men's tankard championship in their history. And a lot of support here in Saskatoon at the Credit Union Center. Final stone here in 2 for Scott Manners, looking for the blank.
Really hard. Really hard, guys. Hard, guys. Right up. Hard. Right up. Right up. Good. Good. Shot.
So Saskatchewan keeps the hammer here on this Monday morning. Back to Saskatoon right after this.
Good job, guys. Good sweep.
From the moment he won the Saskatchewan tankard, the local curling media has been scrambling to write stories about their new champion. but they've had trouble answering this one simple question. Just who is Scott Manners? Well, we've started to learn over the last month his story makes him a pretty easy guy to cheer for. You see, he runs a farm near Lloydminster with his brother. He spends a lot of his spare time teaching kids how to curl. And he's been dreaming his whole life of being where he is right now, and that's on the ice at the Brier. He's well aware that Saskatchewan hasn't won the title in 32 years, but politely reminds reporters that it's not something for him to worry about. After all, he has never lost a Brier in his life. His humble and gracious personality is really just who he is. In fact, when people close to him are asked to describe what he's like, what's the first thing they all say? Well, he's just a really nice guy. And what else would you expect from someone named Manners?
Well, a great story, and there is Scott Manners. It was 1980. Rick Folk, the last gentleman to win a title for Saskatchewan. He went on to win the Worlds as well. And the skip talked about that drought for Saskatchewan.
All I can do is take care of my own backyard. It's really not anyone's responsibility. But it's just what's happened since 1980 is really unexplainable. We see it happen in other sports. You see it in baseball. You see it in hockey. When's the last time the Toronto Maple Leafs won the Cup? I think it was 1967. The Boston Red Sox, I think they had an 86-year drought. So it could be worse, but we're here to do our part. And if I'm supposed to be there at the end of the week, God willing, I'll be there.
80? And that is some great perspective. And, of course, Scott couldn't resist a bit of a chirp at the Maple Leafs.
Well, and I like him even much more for that.
75, 80.
You know what? I loved everything he said in that. You know what? It is the tendency, I think, lots of times to come in here and feel the weight of your province and the dreams of the people that are from your province to try to win. And, that is a very heavy load, very, very heavy load to carry. And so the perspective that he's got is that, they're here and they want to do the best they can, and they're so proud to represent the green. But it is not his personal responsibility to right the wrongs or to put the Saskatchewan team back in the record books. They will do what they can do, and at the end of the day, things will fall out the way they will. That's fantastic perspective.
Freeze on it? Can we freeze onto the yellow?
Scott said before things got underway he was just going to be himself, and I had the opportunity to actually know him back in 1998-99 when I curled out of Lloydminster, and we curled against him as a young guy in Super League, and just a great guy back then.
That looks close.
And now living his dream, which is fantastic to see.
Shot stone belongs to Yukon Northwest Territories, guarded by a stone belonging to Saskatchewan in the 12-foot. So Saskatchewan trying to get around that stone.
By the way, Scott may be the only team I've ever beaten out here, ever, in my entire life, a long time ago. Quebec, Ontario, final stone, Glenn Howard. And a great start for the skip from Chicoutimi, Robert Desjardins. He stole one in the first, and he has Glenn Howard in some trouble here in the second.
Well, he made a great shot. Glenn came around on his first, and then Monsieur Desjardins made that great shot around there, and Glenn cannot get it out. Another steal on the board for Quebec.
So back-to-back steals for Quebec. Of course, Ontario coming off that loss last night to the team you see right here, the Yukon Northwest Territories.
Board. Yep. Solid board. Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta go. Really hard.
Hard, guys.
Hard. Roll it.
Bit of an unfortunate break for Brad on that stone.
I'm not sure I like that.
I don't think so. I think
Do you like playing the hit off the yellow under?
Yeah.
Bang, bang?
Yeah.
No, well.
I don't mind that.
Jam
Oh, this way. Bang, this way? But then it jams, right? I'm just thinking hit and flop here. Okay.
You just hit and flop right in front of
real
red,
close. Yeah. Is that bad though, Scott, off this yellow under?
Yeah.
Just the hair?
Even right in front. That's good too. Yeah.
Control.
They are very dangerous stones to leave there.
It's gonna go hard.
And for Tyler, from looking down at this end, So Scott's initial call was to play the draw. He just does not like the fact that that yellow stone is in the house in front of their stone.
A little up.
Yeah, it's up.
Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get it that way.
Just avoids the jam and gets both yellows moving and gets both yellows out.
Very nice.
That's a great shot, the way that it turned out. They were uncertain at first if he'd overthrown it, but he makes the double, misses the one in the 12-foot, and leaves Saskatchewan lying 3.
Shade up, or like, did I shade up?
A bit. Yeah, you were pretty firm on it, so that's like firm on the release, which is good.
Whoa, never.
Nogler rights himself in time.
Gee.
Little wobbly out of the hack there, Kathy.
Well, and maybe just overthrown as well. Sometimes when you're kicking out just a little bit harder, and you don't need to throw massive weight on this ice because it is so quick. Tries to right it, but it is tough because on really fast ice, when you're throwing it that hard, if you're at all wide or at all narrow, it's not going to do a whole lot.
And there you see Saskatchewan, 2 in play with Hammer here in 3. And now a chance for Tyler Lang to draw another one in there. The key here, Kathy, don't give them the double and try to stay above T-line.
Oh, for sure. You really want to spread these stones out as much as you can. You know that Jamie Cooey is going to have a play in the stone that is currently in the 4-foot. There is a guard. So this is really spreading them out into the wings and worrying about what Jamie Cooey will do after he's done it.
We're there. Yep. Even.
That's
You
good.
got it. Right there. Nice shot, Ty.
Whatever cut at the end.
Well, it takes a while.
And for a kid a little under the weather, playing great so far this morning.
Sure is.
That adrenaline, though, sometimes that's enough just to keep you rolling.
Wants to hit and roll in front of the shot stone in the 4-foot.
Hard.
Tom.
Sorry about that.
I don't know how much it's going to move out here.
I don't think it's going to do a lot.
Yeah.
Get a little finish.
I think that's close.
Kathy, I know we haven't seen a lot of him yet in his first TV game here on TSN, but just want your early thoughts on Scott Manners as a skip and how he handles his front end and his vice and their relationship thus far.
It seems very seamless. A great example is the last couple of shots. Tyler Lang calling down. He didn't really like the Yellowstones up front. He can be too nice. He can have too many manners sometimes, and he still does need to very much control the team. That is his job as the skip. And you know, you would hope that if he really didn't like that call that Tyler called down, that he would say, no, this is what I want to do.
Okay. But
there's always a delicate balance between inviting and welcoming input and also remembering that at the end of the day and at the end of the end, you have to throw the final 2 and you have to create a situation that you are comfortable with.
I have tape.
At the end of the day, it's also tomorrow.
It is.
So Jamie Cooey in this third end, his first, facing 3 red stones.
Real hard. Whoa, whoa.
Big weight. And he gets the 1.
No, just hit it a little bit too thick. That angle was so sharp. It was almost a redirect.
Okay.
So you have 2 in the house already. You're Scott Manners. Trying to get 2, maybe 3, Kathy. How do you set up his final 2 stones?
Well, you spread them out. He's going to continue to do what he has done.
He's good here. It's nice and quick.
This end, if he can put this one out in the wings. Jamie Cooey is going to try to play a double no matter where he plays this. He's demonstrated that with his first shot, and he will obviously try that with his second.
It's a little light, eh?
And Scott gives him the opportunity.
Really got to go.
Hard, guys.
Heavy.
Fight 12.
Right on the tee line.
Hard. Make sure. Fight's great. Just the fight's great.
Go.
Scott Manners,
not heavy.
second overall when it comes to skips percentages coming in this morning.
Right to the tee.
Weight's great.
Right to the tee.
Tee then. Tee.
Tee.
Yeah. Tee line.
Easy,
right on the
Nice
tee.
weight here with his first and 3.
Very nice.
Good throw. Real good.
Well, he talked a little bit about not owning the past, and he doesn't. And these are in Saskatchewan, the struggles on home ice that teams have gone before, whether it was Bruce Corte, Pat Simmons, Jim Packett. Wow, back in 1989, the best record, 6-5. And some of that is the hometown pressure for sure. Some of it also is your opponents.
Drove Pat Simmons out of the province. I'm sure that's not the reason why. Obviously, he's playing with Kevin Cooey, Team Alberta now, and fond memories of Saskatchewan. Pat does. I know, though, when he did struggle that year, the home crowd was booing a little bit. I believe it was 0-4 is what he got off to, and they were pretty tough on him. So it's a double-edged sword. The fans, so passionate, so knowledgeable. They want their team to do so well, but with that comes a lot of pressure.
Now, and here is a great end played by Team Saskatchewan. Did an excellent job of spreading stones out. A couple of double attempts tried by Yukon Northwest Territories, and because of how well this man placed his first draw, there was no double.
Go 10.
Jamie tried that
Right
roll,
on the
did
nose,
not
guys.
make it, so it is a wide open hit for 3.
Kathy, a lot of teams come in their first ever Tim Hortons Brier, and, you know, they want to be aggressive. They want to score. They want to score now. Have you been impressed with Manners' patience thus far?
Very much so. He has really got the good balance between being aggressive when he's got the opportunities and being patient. I watched him last night call a very good game.
Whoa, guys.
Took some chances, but did not go overboard.
Yeah, now you clean. Yep. Yeah, now
Just a light clean
You got it. Right
on this final stone in 3. A chance for 3. Scott Manners on the nose, and the crowd here on this Monday morning approves. Saskatoon loving it. 3-1 after 3. Time for a key shot, Kathy.
Well, there's actually a pair. We start with the 4 stone of the end. This is Ryan Dice's second stone. Bit of a discussion about whether they left those yellow stones there or not. It was, in fact, Tyler Lang who said, I don't like them. What a great shot Ryan Dice makes. This starts the setup for 3, and then it is a well-executed, very well-executed end by Saskatchewan in spacing those stones out, not giving up doubles. And on his final stone, Scott Manners makes no mistakes. Takes advantage of the opportunity that his team has created for him in scoring the 3.
And the key shot, or in this case, shots, are brought to you by Scotty's Facial Tissue, stylish designs for any room. And you saw the 3 put up by Scott Manners, so we have a 3-1 advantage here in the 4th end against Jamie Cooey and the Yukon Northwest Territories, with action underway here at 4. Looks like Mike Armstrong came in deep with his first.
Yeah, this half is good.
He did, and that corner guard for Yukon Northwest Territories, kind of a cross between a corner and a quasi-center. It just did not come off the line as much as Jamie thought, and so Saskatchewan's going to try to utilize that.
Got some room.
And get behind.
Got a bit of room right now. Bit of room.
Oh, it looks like you're all here.
Yeah, we're there. 7.
Switch.
It's working.
It's real close.
Switch.
Here it comes.
Yep. Go. Coming
Yeah,
down.
you
Get
go.
it across. Go. Hard.
Get in as
Dive in.
well.
Go. Right up. Hard.
Yep. That's good right there. Nice shot, Mike. Good.
Coming back.
Back 8, back 12.
70, I guess, eh? Yeah, 70.
This shot is about manipulating the stones. Jamie is not interested in having this be a hit and roll out. Just wants to tap the stone back, create a bit of a wall at the back of the house.
About an 8, 9. Never.
10 even.
Close.
Just a 9.
Yep.
It's better.
Yep. Hard.
Oh boy. It's a good shot. Let's slash it, yeah. You might get them both. Okay.
Yeah. Take a run at it.
You can't jam, can't double
See,
jam.
if you peel once, fine. Peel. Yep. Yeah. Hard. Come on. Ah. Whoa.
The run back.
Good catch.
And nothing.
Well, you heard the in Scott's voice. They were hoping that maybe they would slash it across the top and get both yellows curled enough that they stick the guard.
Say about 75 out here.
First time we've seen this path this far out.
It's been a busy morning for Ontario's Glenn Howard. He's been in tough so far, from Robert Desjardins from Chicoutimi. As Robert stole in 1, stole in 2, and now final stone here in 3 for Glenn Howard playing the yellow stones. And he now has a draw for 2.
Well, and as ironic as it sounds, a draw to the 4-foot around a tight guarded 4-foot area is probably the easiest shot that Glenn has had yet today.
And you see his son, Scott Howard, on the left sweeping. Craig Saville out of this game under the weather.
Lots of room.
You see that scratch on the ice as well. Both teams looking a lot at that before the game started. Brought the Hans and Jamie out to take a look at it. We're concerned.
Brought the Hans or Hans? The Fonz, the Hans.
He's like a supermodel. He goes by just the Hans.
And the Howard comes through as he does find that 4-foot. So it's 2-2 after 3 on sheet B. That made stick, the Hans.
Shit, me.
Okay.
Well, that's 2 miscues in a row. You really want to open that side up.
Right there, yeah.
And just over curling for what the ice, or they're a little bit tight. And not only does he not peel the guard, he doesn't make contact with the stone in the house either.
I think 75 or 80. 75, 80. 10 100s, yeah.
So advantage to the team from the north for Brad. After a good outturn, a chance to make a good intern.
Do you find, Kathy, more often than not, even when you played, if you took a big end, maybe psychologically you let the gas off a tiny bit, or does that play into their heads at all?
Well, it shouldn't. Sometimes it definitely happens, especially in a very close game where you finally crack a 3 and you think, whew, isn't that great? But, you know, those are the things that sports psychologists work with your team to move beyond. It was an end, you park that end and you stay focused on the shots that are required, because any kind of thinking like that, Brian, you're right, you just let off the hook for a little bit and the next team puts a 3 back on the board and you're trailing again.
Where are we rolling?
And I'm sure Kay Montgomery's played a big role in that for this team.
Kay, a good player in her own right for sure.
Tyler Lang, 3rd stones for Team Saskatchewan.
Whoa. Clean. Whoa. Clean. Close. Yep. Whoa. Clean. Right to it. Yep. Throw, Ty. It's good. Okay, good.
And Kay, one of 2 female coaches in the field here this year.
Nice hack, guys.
Okay. Nice hack.
Talked to her at the Scotties. She was very excited about the opportunity to come here and to be a part of Scott's team. She said they are young, they are enthusiastic, they're so excited. And they are.
And beside her, you saw Carl DeConnick-Smith, 5th for Team Saskatchewan.
Whoa! Yes!
Another very solid Saskatchewan player in his own right.
Hard! Real hard! Hard! Right to it! Real hard! Go, guys! Go, 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 go!
Working hard to get this stone.
Tom Nogler. Not enough weight to remove the red rock.
Spin back.
Yukon Territories, line 1.
Like that.
You like freezing?
Run yellow.
Want us to peel those 2 on the top?
Whatever Scott likes here, I think he's got to get angled on there.
Just off nose on the top when both of those yellows go and open up everything.
3/4?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Like that. Half a rock's good too.
Okay.
Tyler taking just a couple of more minutes in the hack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really hard.
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 Hard. Anything, Ryan. Roll it.
Good. Nice shot.
Nice double
Right
for
over,
Tyler
right over,
Lang.
Ryan. Go, Ryan. Thanks, Phil. Good job.
Well, it's more than not bad. It's actually very good. He's opened it up, and even though Saskatchewan does not have last rock, and Yukon Northwest Territories is lying one, there's access to that stone.
Okay, boys. 75, right?
Jamie trying to utilize the two red stones belonging to Saskatchewan at the back of the house. If he has to, there's also a corner guard that he can get behind.
Freeze it. Gotta go line.
It's all there, 9-10.
Hard. Right to it. Hard. Right to it.
Over curls a little bit and will not be second shot.
Gotta hit. Still got a rock in there.
Well, that's really a tough one.
Doesn't matter.
Good communication by the front end from Yukon Northwest Territories to let Jamie know that it was a 9-10, that it was coming very deep in the house.
Normal?
Yeah, that's like just pick it, eh?
Yeah,
It's got one.
And the key here now to avoid the jam here for Scott Manners.
Wait for that. Normal.
Well, for sure, for Scott, he doesn't care, Brian, if he sticks around or if he picks out the red one at the back here. This stone is actually causing him some grief, so if he's able to get rid of both of those stones, he'll be perfectly happy.
Clean.
Hard.
Close.
Clean.
Whoa.
Clean.
Yep.
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 Hard.
Real
Hard. Hard.
Whoa. Yep.
Right to it.
Yep.
Right to it.
That's
Good
great.
shot.
Good
Nicely
shot.
done.
That's good. That's good. That's better. Good shot.
That's good. Keep it higher.
Is the triple there?
Well, not so much the triple as much as the hit and the roll into the pocket.
Pocket hammer. That's
Nope.
Like, you can't get inside this, right? So you'll be sitting right there.
Yeah.
So you just got to hit it anywhere here, and he gets everything.
Yeah. Rock's there.
Unless you roll it just to here.
Yeah, keep this one around, right?
Yeah, or it's just a hair high. Can't get rid of it.
Yeah, that's true. You like that? As long as you're high center line side, you're good.
I like this call better than the hit. The hit is all or nothing for Jamie. You have to make the perfect roll. Where Saskatchewan forces you to one, what they'd like to do is freeze, and the key is to be on this inside. And the reason for that is that any way that Saskatchewan would try to remove it would drive it onto those stones and maybe create the opportunity for two. So it is the freeze, and it is the freeze on the line side, central line side of the red.
What do you got?
Mine's good.
Yeah. Good.
Where is it? Mine's good. Wait only.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa then.
Wait only.
8-9.
Wait only then.
You're there. All there.
No.
9-10.
No. Okay.
Yep. You gotta go. Gotta go hard. Gotta go real hard.
And now it looks like job well done here for Team Saskatchewan. A likely force of one.
Normal.
Okay. Nose?
Yep. Oh, a little. As long as we stay your side, Ryan, we're good.
Yeah.
Same kind of weight, guys.
Hard. Really
Easy.
hard.
Yep.
Hard.
Yeah.
Hard.
Really hard. Really hard.
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 Right to it.
Hard.
Right to it.
Final stone here in 4 for Scott Manners on the nose. And you hear that crowd. Saskatchewan, line 4. Cooey with hammer.
Good throw.
Good in.
Yeah.
Here later.
Jamie's just thrown a draw tap, so he's talking about throwing very similar easy weight. Can't afford to roll out with a hit.
Straight draw. Play the straight draw. Once we get line, we'll go.
Okay.
Jamie Cooey from the Yellowknife Curling Club on a 2-game winning streak here at the Tim Hortons Brier in Saskatoon.
Gotta go.
Final stone here in 4, facing 4 Saskatchewan Rocks.
Right to it. Clean. Right to it. Stay on 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 it. Yep. 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 Go. 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 Hard. Go. Go. Go.
Borden, Churkowski guided in, a little tap, and there's the one for Jamie Cooey. Saskatchewan still leads 3-2 after 4. The NHL TSN returns tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It is the Wild taking on the Colorado Avalanche. The Avs trying to keep their playoff hopes alive on TSN 2 at 9 p.m. Eastern. Glad you're with us on this Monday morning at the Credit Union Center in Saskatoon. Brian Mudryk, Kathy Gauthier with you. And a 3-2 advantage for Team Saskatchewan and Scott Manners as Jamie Cooey picked up his single in 4 with action underway here in 5.
Go. 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 Go.
Center.
Center to the line. Come on. Go.
Hey. Yeah. Tough.
Ice conditions really good this morning. Yesterday we saw a couple of tricky spots. Players weren't really sure why things were doing what they were. But it is now
Line's real good.
day 5 almost for the ice crew.
Yep.
The first day, of course, all the players are throwing. They've got hot shots, opening ceremonies, and now we're fully into it on a Monday, and so the ice settles in. It's got its rough edges out. Hans and Jamie are more familiar with what this building will give them.
Good line. Yep.
Got to cross the line.
And so we are seeing much more consistency this morning, and that's what the players love, and that's what the ice crew loves, too. There's the Hans.
The Hans, as he's now known as.
Supermodel. He works very, very hard. He's always interested in hearing what the curlers have to say. He asks about rocks. He asks about all kinds of things. Here's a guy that really wants to make things better.
Hard. Line's good.
Freezer, boys. Freezer.
Freezer, guys. Oh. Save it, boys.
Attaboy.
Save, guys.
Very nice shot. That's the consistency we talked about, the ability to throw the rock in the same spot, have it always go to the same spot. If it doesn't, then you start to look at your rocks.
Stay here to less.
Okay. Line's good. Line's real good. Got a bit of room. It's right here.
Not too bad.
Gotta go here.
Wider. Switch
Just
then.
3-4.
Switch.
Well, weight's good, Dan.
Switch.
Switch. One staying out.
4.
Go.
Hard.
Go.
Hard.
Yep.
Quick. Gotta go. Right up.
Tight
Right
as
up.
you
Right
can.
up.
Come on. Come on. Good job, Mike. Good.
Inside flop. Board.
Jamie wouldn't mind forcing Saskatchewan to 1 here in this 5th end, but with that stone there, he also wants to create an opportunity that he might be able to get shot.
As Brad Churkowski throws a whole bunch of rocks in play, a traffic jam on sheet B. As Glenn Howard, Team Ontario, taking on Robert Desjardins out of Chicoutimi, Team Quebec.
Trying to get to the inside. He could move these stones around and lie a pile.
This is Glenn's final stone. Robert, though, still has the hammer, though, for now. It is Ontario lying 2. Robert Desjardins still with hammer to come. We will bring you back there for the last shot of that end. Of course, Robert Desjardins stealing in 1, stealing in 2, and it was Ontario finally drawing in. Glenn Howard made that draw to the forefoot to pick up his 2 in 3, and that's how they are where they are now.
Nice shot, bud. Really good.
Good shot.
Nicely done. Cleans up all of the stones in front of the house. And the call here for Robert is to come down to that shot stone. I do not know if he's going to be able to get shot because of that great roll by Glenn, but it is about coming down to the yellow stone that is second shot and conceding a point.
Quebec, of course, coming off that tough loss last night to Scott Manners, Team Saskatchewan.
Good 2. Maybe a 1.
Real hard that.
Stats-wise, it's been a tough start for Robert Desjardins. 68% coming in. He's 12th amongst the skips.
Si on est T-line, on est correct. Faut que ça curle. Faut que ça curle. T-line, les boys, ça prend T-line.
Well, his numbers are low, but these are the situations that he also skips himself into, so the degree of difficulty is very difficult.
Beautiful draw weight, and he looks to cut Glenn Howard just to the single, so a steal of 1 for Team Ontario as they lead 3-2 after 4.
And Saskatchewan will continue to peel those center guards.
Freeze.
Freeze? Okay. Go to the top post.
A little bit of a discussion between Jamie and Tom. You can make a play on the yellow stone, but it's a little bit too early, so they want to place a stone there. And all of a sudden, even though you're shot, this becomes your problem if you are Saskatchewan, because any removal of the yellow stones promotes it onto your own, and sooner or later, you know that Jamie will play that tap.
Just 4.
Tom Nogler.
Whoa! Whoa! 4. Off. 3. Hard no. Touch. Go.
Hard
2, 3. 3. 2.
Go, go, go.
Hard. Go, go, go.
Whoa. Whoa.
Saskatchewan does have the hammer here in 5, sitting 1 so far.
Must have just been a little out wider.
I don't mind this too.
Yeah.
Well, it was not the freeze. He does play the guard, and so Saskatchewan will step up and try to remove that stone yet again.
Tyler Lang, a little under the weather on this Monday morning here in Saskatoon, fighting through it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, he's played very, very well for someone who is not feeling well.
Okay. What?
This will be a second attempt to freeze
Try and give you a 75 this time.
that stone. 75, that's a pretty low split. We've been seeing 8s and 9s from the back line to the first hog line.
It's all there. 7.
And that number, 75, Kathy, what does that mean?
Well, that's his split time, but a lot of people have different split times. So what Tom does is he drives out pretty hard and then often will pull back. So his number from the back line to the hog line will be much lower than someone who slides slowly and just lets go of the rock. But they obviously felt that he had underthrown the first one. That worked out much better for him.
60.
Now, if I threw a 60 in that same path, it would be through the hack. That is a very low number, but because he slides hard and then pulls back, and that's something that his sweepers have adjusted to and are aware of, and it's a number that means something to them.
On my first one.
Tyler Lang coming down to talk to Scott.
I like this. I like drawing here.
Yeah, that's real careful, because if we leave it anywhere, you can just boom, boom.
Yeah. You like this? That's what we did last night. That's what we do.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. Or it's that or tap, tap, but I think that's his shot.
Well, if we tap, that's pretty good, and rearrange just to here.
That's really good.
Sit here.
And then, yeah, it is.
I think that's pretty good.
You want to tap?
Catch here to here.
You could.
And then this should roll. Set up the double, maybe.
Stay on top of the pile.
Yeah.
Just, where are you throwing me? Back 4?
Yeah.
Well, they've considered a number of very different options. The initial call was to play the draw around the corner guard and try to get another stone in this area. Their concern is if they do that, any play that Jamie makes against these may drive the stone back into their own. So now they're going to play the tap-tap and create some separation and angles between the two yellows and the red. The risk is that in playing this shot, sometimes you wind up making it for your opponent. Tyler needs to ensure that he is right on top of the yellows and that the red is tapped far enough back that there is a double opportunity for the next shot.
Easy. 7 down. Yeah.
Whoa.
Clean.
7.
Whoa. Make sure we're jiggle. Come on.
Yeah.
Just draw weight.
Hard.
Now it's on Mike Armstrong, Ryan Dice.
Just short.
We're over curling.
Plan B.
Just going to over curl. Whoa, let it stop. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. Okay.
That's a tricky little shot, just underthrown.
Okay, Ty.
Stare down, I guess, on you.
Yeah, just light, that's all. Just a hair light. Line's perfect.
Triple, no?
Yeah, I think you got to go right on the nose. Right on the nose. They got to play the in-turn, right? Because we'll be right there.
What's that? Or do I just freeze in there again? Oh, he's tapping this time.
Yeah.
Oh,
By 2. I like tapping.
Just here. We gotta be right on the nose.
Yep.
And so now is the time. He has waited very patiently, has Jamie Cooey to come down on this stone and tap this stone back a little bit. What they would absolutely love is that in the course of tapping, if they're able to lock this a little bit, it will take away the double opportunity for Saskatchewan. So it's not about removing their red stone, it's tapping it back so that they are shot and also having the shooter roll against the red stone that is in the 12-foot.
What do you got?
Throwing that in turn, Kathy.
Whoa. 9.
He loves this shot.
Yes. Yep. Whoa.
Jamie Cooey, his first here in 5.
Whoa. Yep.
Down 3-2 without hammer.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa.
Little tap, push it enough.
Whoa.
And no, Saskatchewan still shot stone. We talked about Scott Manners and his incredible story. They were ranked 12th among the 16 teams at provincials, and here's how he got there. Defeated Bruce Corte 7-6, and then again 6-5 in the final. And you know what? Curling is such a family-type game. It was a pretty amazing story. Bruce Corte, who you see right there, here this week as a volunteer, he made a phone call to Manners shortly after and gave him some advice, what to expect. And a nice applause here from the crowd in Saskatoon. Amber Holland also reached out and talked with Scott Manners. And Kathy, that really talks, I think, to the fraternity and how close a lot of these curlers are, that they want to support each other. And what a great move from Bruce to support his province that way.
Tremendously so. It really is. Once you are not the team representing your province, it is about hoping that the person that's going represents you the best way that they can.
Yeah, you gotta.
Do you think this one will kick enough? I think it kicks it right behind the guard.
It does, yeah.
And you kind of want to nose it to protect this end, right?
I think nose does it.
It's real close.
Peel.
Saskatchewan has to make a play on these stones. Even though Jamie is not shot, they know for sure all he has to do is play the tap, 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 and he is shot.
If anything, you just want to cross a hair, hey?
Just a whisker, but if I nose guys,
is pretty good.
Nose is good because it kind of leaves us protected, eh?
Yeah, nose is great.
Okay, peel.
Let's get it. Yeah, you got it.
And just to finish on your earlier comment, Brian, how wonderful that Bruce Corte, if he's not in this Loses the Final, is here as a volunteer to help give back to the sport.
Scott Manners, his first here in 5. Big weight. Spills 2. And he lies 3, partially buried. Of course, Saskatchewan with a hammer here in 5.
That's a great shot. They talked about hitting it right on the nose. They know that the shot stone, or the second shot stone, is going to go straight out the back door. Loses one of the yellows.
It really looked like you touched these, eh? It did, but see
and
the angle
still
of the side
keeps
you
some
hit.
protection for that shot stone.
Oh, for sure.
It's that big weight shot that he throws so well and makes him the #1 hitter in this field so far.
Okay. Yeah, the yellow one, it's tough to get them all going.
Yeah, that middle one.
Freeze, little bump. It's fun.
That was probably 9 or 10 there, your last one.
That was a 9-10?
Yeah.
Yeah. Might be a little heavier out here or no? Yeah, so I don't want to throw any more then, eh?
What's that?
So I don't want to throw any more.
No.
Freeze is perfect.
Okay.
Sweeper freeze, if we got line, we'll have to go.
Jamie just ensuring that the weight out in this area where they have not thrown a lot of rocks this morning is similar.
Oh, same weight. 10.
To
Close.
everywhere else.
10. Yep. Yep. Real hard. Whoa. 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 Whoa.
10
Whoa.
we're through.
Never. Right on.
We're through.
No. No. Hard for weight then. Hard. 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 Hard.
Attaboy. Good, Jamie.
Great shot from Jamie Cooey.
That's good.
Wow,
Is just as good.
Where did the big swing go? It's not there. I thought we caught it early enough.
And now that leaves Saskatchewan, the play on that Yellowstone for their 1.
A great audible by both Jamie and Tom to change plans. It wasn't going to be a freeze. They were calling through. Really good example of communication and changing halfway down instead of the freeze to make sure to tap that redstone far enough that it is the team from the north lying 2, and it's forcing Saskatchewan to 1. Great audible.
Scott Manners throwing 94% so far this morning here in Saskatoon. His final stone here in 5. Playing the hit for his 1.
Just clean.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Nice weight.
Whoa, off, off. Right off. Let it work.
That's good. Nice shot.
That's good.
Hey, so Scott.
Hits it on the nose for a single. And the crowd approves here at the Credit Union Center. Saskatchewan on top, 4-2 after 5.
The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by World Financial Group. Proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies.
Welcome back inside here to Saskatoon. Some conversations at the break. Jamie Cooey forced Saskatchewan in that last end, but still trails 4-2. And let's take a look at the numbers after 5. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons. It's time for Tim's. Some very strong numbers by both sides this morning at the skip level, but it has been through the middle that the numbers have not been so good for the Yukon Northwest Territories. That's why their numbers are just that little bit lower. 95% is Scott Manners this morning, and he is with Brian.
Scott, I know at the beginning of the week you talked about being patient and waiting for your spots. Tell us about how you manufactured that 3 in 3.
Well, that's the same plan, Brian. You know, just waited for our moment, had the simple guard, and, you know, just wanted to split it up. They got a little unfortunate. You know, they rolled out. Things didn't go their way, but worked out for us. Good 3 in 3. Yeah, we'll take it.
How's your third doing? Obviously, Tyler, a crucial part of this team. Is he a bit under the weather right now?
Yeah, he's an achy curler. You know, he's got to play third. If he had to play lead, he'd be in rough shape. So, yeah, he's staying together, and, yeah, we'll keep him.
And finally, just a comment on this team. Obviously, you guys rookies, but how have you felt about your performance so far?
Our performance has been great, Brian. You know, everybody's really stepped up to the plate and managed the ice as best we can. It's really been great.
Scott, thanks for your time and good luck.
Thank you, Brian. Nice to see you.
That is Scott Manners, the skip for Team Saskatchewan, and his team has a 4-2 lead after 5. We're back here in Saskatoon after this.
The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association. By Capital One, what's in your wallet? And by M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle.
One other game underway on this Monday morning at the Credit Union Center, and it features Quebec taking on Team Ontario. And Robert Desjardins from Chicoutimi having a great morning so far. This, an open hit for 2.
Well, that yellow stone that he is shooting at, that's the last stone by Glenn Howard. He tried a hit and roll from a stone out in the wings, got the roll, but not far enough. It's a wide open hit.
Desjardins makes the hit, sticks around for his 2. So after that loss last night to the Yukon Northwest Territories, Glenn Howard in tough again, down 4-3. And that brings us to the updated standings coming in. Ontario, a 2-1 record. Alberta, still perfect. Kevin Cooey at 3-0. Nova Scotia, Manitoba, also with 3 wins. And in our feature matchup, Saskatchewan, Yukon Northwest Territories, one of those teams will also move ahead with 3 wins at this year's Tim Hortons Brier in Saskatoon. As we bring you back to our feature game here at the Credit Union Center, it was at 3 spot and 3, the difference thus far for Scott Manners. Team Saskatchewan, a 4-2 lead after 5. And Jamie Cooey coming off that big win last night, a little momentum, a 2-game winning streak. And I guess, Kathy, after 5, we can assume, obviously, Scott Manners, the story, 95%.
It is a remarkable story. Those are great numbers at any position, but certainly at the skip.
Let's go.
He's played a very good first 5, and you're absolutely right. It is that 3 that leaps out on the board. Jamie Cooey and his team have done a good job at forcing Saskatchewan to 1. Last stand they did it again. A great call, a great communications call by Yukon Northwest Territories when Jamie was a bit heavy to tap the stone back to make the force. But they've done some good things this morning. It is that 3 spot that they're still battling to fight their way back through.
Clean then. Clean.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
whoa. Over curling, whoa.
Attaboy.
Oh.
Hey, stop. Good wait. Jeez.
Did I get A?
Yep. You like that much?
I enjoyed your interview with Scott when you asked about Tyler Lang and how he was doing, and essentially said he's a big baby, suck it up, you can't play front end.
Just clean.
Oh, dear.
Yep, clean.
That's great. Great chemistry on the team, obviously. Because Tyler could hear everything he said.
Whoa, off.
Went back. Went back. God.
Jeez.
Ooh. My fault.
That's right.
Well, Scott sharing with Ryan Dice, he thought it was his fault, might have given him a little bit more ice or called it a little bit early.
Now, Kathy, depending on how the game is going, would you say that regardless, even though it wasn't Scott's fault, just to give your player a little bit of a boost, or is it important to be honest at that point, or do you have to feel out the situation?
Oh, for sure. Scott's not going to yell down, it's my fault to make Ryan feel better if he didn't hit the broom, because it's important your player knows what's going on. In that case, Scott obviously felt that he had over-iced him.
All there. All no. All then.
But there may be points in the tournament, points in a game maybe that
None.
come across never that way.
Well, no, you're not going to ever tell your player that they hit the broom if they didn't, because if they're putting things back or they're getting things going, that is information that you're not going to yell down the length of the sheet. But when they come down, you may want to share that information with them. You do want your players to play well. You do want to build confidence, but you don't want to lie to them if they're not throwing the rock well. It's important that they know if they're not getting to the stick.
So, in essence, a lot like your relationship with me, you tell me when I'm wrong pretty much every time.
It's a full-time job.
Excellent.
Clean.
I'm up for it.
Close. Whoa.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Attaboy. Nice
Nice shot.
Makes the double. A nice rebound shot.
Throw, bud.
Brian Dice.
Very nice. Well, even though Scott said it was his fault last time, you know that Ryan wants to make a huge contribution, would be feeling bad, so makes a really good shot.
Same weight. Okay. Made up for it.
There you are.
You got her. Knew you would.
Hard less.
And I love the comment you heard from Mike Armstrong. I knew you would.
3-4.
That's that great team chemistry that this team from Saskatchewan has. Very positive. Supportive.
Whoa.
3-4.
Yep. Yep.
in?
I don't know.
Got him
I don't mind the guard.
Or the, well,
I like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Sure,
don't mind
yeah.
that, yeah.
Better in, if anything.
Yeah, if you're in, that's okay.
Yeah, top 12 is where you want it, I think, anyways.
Just tight.
Three's fine.
Yeah, three's
Go three.
perfect,
Yeah,
but
three's
four's
great.
not bad either.
Tight, tight.
You got it.
Okay, you got room.
Pretty good weight. 3.
Make sure, switch. We're way out. Make sure we're
Way
in.
out.
Let's get it in.
Way out.
Way out. That's
Still
trying.
there.
Top
Almost
12?
to it. 5.
Yeah, we're
Four,
5. We're 5.
Yeah. Let it
Do
go.
it.
Leave it. Leave it where it
Finish.
is. No, no, no.
A little bit. Yep.
No, no, no. Not, don't
that's good
leave.
there.
No, no.
That's good
Want
there.
to
That's
double
fine.
the other way.
Shot, Ty.
Okay. That's fine, Ty.
Just a little bit deeper than he wanted it to be. He wasn't looking
We're in
for a
those
guard,
guys.
but by coming in deeper, it does give Jamie Cooey and his team the out. You can actually make the double and hit and roll behind the corner.
No. Yep.
The big weight from Tom Nogler. Sticks the red, no double.
Are you switching turns all of a sudden?
I don't know. If you want to go the other one.
Pull the in.
Same weight.
Yeah.
And an open shot like that, if you have a strong preference for an in turn or an out turn, it usually doesn't matter. You heard Tyler ask for the in.
Close.
We talked about how much these teams both love to play the ins. It is more dramatic in their draw selection, but we still notice it in their hits.
Yeah, we're rolling out.
Go right up.
Shot, Ty.
Close.
They're
Maybe a
tracking it,
hair up, but
But
nothing.
they're tracking a bit. Like,
Yeah,
that
I
was
know.
tight.
That's. I agree. That's. I think too.
Okay, Ty.
That tracked a bit because I was a hair tight, I thought.
I thought so, too.
So I was definitely up though. So
Yeah, but nothing too crazy, though. You're real good. Real good.
still.
It's confirmation that those outside shots are running very straight.
7-8. Oh, let it work.
Another look at Tom Nogler. Cooey says he brings a calmness to the team, very easygoing personality, keeps things light.
You're going to have to go for line. Yep. Yep. Go, go, go. Go. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Go. Good.
Nogler settles back 8.
Suit, guys.
Good job,
Go,
Brad.
Johnny.
Yeah. Put it right on the tee line, right in front of him.
Yeah.
Froze is good.
Yeah.
Froze is good.
Scott playing to follow Mr. Nogler's rock. Come on, the guards and sit on top.
Whoa, lots of room. Let it work.
8 right now.
Gotta
No.
wait then.
8, 9.
Whoa, lots of room.
Close.
Lots of weight.
Close. Yeah.
Hard line.
Yeah.
Hard.
Really hard.
And now Armstrong, Dice. Big scrub here. Just wicks that yellow guard. And slides by everything, settling back 12.
Just snapped on you.
A little heavy, eh?
It's all right. I mean,
That's gold. Yeah. Like the out?
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Trying
hang
to roll it right
straighter,
to
eh?
his- Well, I'm probably going to be down here with board, eh? That's fine, eh?
Yeah.
Nose is a
Board? Board weight? About
Just an
half-
easy weight
half.
shot for Jamie Cooey. It is all about the roll here.
You know what, Kathy, this may be the unofficial family of curling, especially the last few years. Of course, it was 2010 when Kevin and Jamie met at a Brier for the first time, and Kevin went on to win that national championship and a Worlds. Of course, we talked about Kerry Galusha, made some fantastic shots, won the hot shots in Red Deer as well, a 4-7 round rock record there. Of course, Kevin perfect so far at 3-0, and now brother Jamie trying to pick up his third win this year at the Tim Hortons Brier. What a season for the Cooey family. Of course, Fred's so proud. He was coaching his daughter in Red Deer. Just an awesome, awesome family and a lot of talent.
Okay.
Does not get the roll, but does stick around to lie 2.
Yeah, that's bad.
Go, James.
I still remember too Kerry's first game where that dramatic win over Alberta and Heather Nedowin, and you saw Kevin there in the crowd cheering her on, and some great emotion shown from him winning the hot shot. She made a lot of great shots that week.
Yeah.
Didn't roll it Mike's way.
I'm sure a lot of conversations around the dinner table when they were growing up with.
That's not bad.
Okay. That's fabulous.
Oh, it looks good.
About all sorts of shots and philosophy about the game.
There are some great families of curlers. Saw mothers and daughters last week at the Scotties. Here we've got Glenn and his son playing right next door to us today.
Pull up. Pull up.
Clean.
And of course, Russ Howard, a.k.a. Bon Jovi in the booth.
Yeah! Really hard! Hard!
Go!
Of course, Glenn tying his brother with 14 trips to the Brier this year. It was 14 Purple Hearts.
Good weight. Okay. Good sweeping, guys. Real nice.
And without the roll, he is second shot, and so that allows Jamie to play the draw for the deuce and the tie here in 6. Oh, he's electing to play the hit.
Draw, so.
Okay. You hear his rationale.
Same weight. Yeah.
Feels that this shot is an easier shot than a draw either way. We saw how much Scott Manners' draw moved in that path and might be feeling just a little bit nervous about it, and so electing to play the hit on the second shot stone to get his deuce.
Final stone here in 6 for Jamie Cooey.
Off. No, off. Off. Clean. Clean. You can clean.
Cooey firing at 84% so far this morning. Perfect right there. Makes the hit and sticks for his 2. A close battle here between Saskatchewan and the Yukon Northwest Territories as we're tied up at 4 in Saskatoon.
Rob Fowler. You can hear Liburn now calling line. Drive it back. Oh! BC will pick up the win.
They both made some fantastic shots so far at this year's Tim Hortons Brier, and we'll see them this afternoon. Rob Fowler, Team Manitoba, 3-1, taking on Jim Cotter and British Columbia, 1-2 record. That's later on today on TSN at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. 2 games on the ice this morning in Saskatoon. Our feature game, Saskatchewan and the Yukon Northwest Territories. And it was Jamie Cooey picking up his 2 and 6 with Hammer to tie things up at 4 against Saskatchewan. Scott Manners, his team from the Battleford Curling Club, with Hammer now here in 7.
Attaboy.
Okay.
Seven.
6.
Lots of room.
Good line.
Plenty of room.
Weight's great. Whoa.
Line's
No,
good.
7, 8.
Bumping.
7, 8.
No. No line.
8.
Right off. Same way.
9.
Hair jiggle.
No, he's not the nose. Staying on the outside.
Okay.
Okay.
Same shot. Higher.
Just rolls off, but the bigger problem for Saskatchewan is there's a little bit of a wall building behind that yellow shot stone.
Right at the stick. Should be good. Weight should be good.
Brad Chorskowski, if he's able to get back on top of that,
Four.
there'll be a lot of granite in a very small area.
Number 5.
Better than that.
Whoa!
Six, six,
Six. Curl. Curl more. Curl. Good. Bad boy. Throw.
Heel. Clean.
Trying to open up that front, give them a couple of access ways to those shot stones.
Good. Nice shot, Ryan.
Good out. Hey?
Really?
Hey?
Don't like the angle.
2. Just a 2.
What do you figure, 90 or 95? 2?
There's a look at our broadcast booth there with a TSN sign, an outstanding view here, a great building. What a facility in Saskatoon. Always a pleasure to come to Saskatchewan. Kathy, I know the fans here so knowledgeable, cheering for great shots, and really supporting all the teams. Obviously, they're minding their manners here, but a lot of support for great shots here. It's been fantastic thus far. We've had a great time.
Hey, clean. 2. 2.5.
Easy, boys. Easy.
Well, the players really appreciate that. You know, you spend your whole life sometimes trying to get to the show, and you may only get there once, and it is so nice that when you play perhaps the game of your life or make some great shots, that the crowd appreciates what you've done, and you know, the curlers really do love coming here.
As you see Scott hold the broom, when we talked before things got underway, he said the word underdog came up many times, and he says he likes that word. He's okay with that.
Nice.
Well, by the name underdog, it implies that there is no expectation. People looking at the great shot making this morning, and they may not have expectations of him because they may not have heard of him coming in, but they're certainly having more than their expectations met this morning in this great game, and also by Team Saskatchewan at this year's Brier.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan will take on Alberta tonight, 95. And you saw a bit of the sea of green. I know, being from Winnipeg, Kathy, you know the white out very well.
Yes.
And the fans there, well, you can bet this building will be full with that green pride.
Whoa.
And it has been loud here when the good shots are made, which has been fantastic.
One. Hard then. Hard.
Live look now on Sheet B. Quebec, Ontario. It's been a great battle so far. Ontario, those yellow stones.
Finally a chance for Glenn to break it open. Robert Desjardins on his last shot was playing the draw, went deep. And so this is the free pass essentially for Glenn. Needs 8 foot.
So final stone here for
It's lots.
Glenn Howard. His son, Scott Howard, into the game, sweeping.
Good. Clean it.
Craig Stavel a bit under the weather.
Clean it.
Got a text message from Craig. He's hoping to be back tonight to face Northern Ontario. Wish him the speedy recovery. Hope he's feeling better.
We sure do.
And a nice draw from his skipper. That'll make Craig feel better wherever he's watching. 6-4 Ontario leads after 6.
And I think people may assume that because Craig has been here so many times, it may not be a big deal to miss a game, and I disagree. They still play so hard to get to this show, and you never know when you come if it will be your last, and I know it's probably driving Craig crazy to not be here. So get better, please.
You know, you talk about the show, and especially when you bring a fifth, and obviously Scott is a great young player, and I had a chance to talk with Blake McDonald, and obviously Blake, back in the day, made it with Hunka out of Alberta, and then of course won that World Championship and Brier title. And I said, how tough is it to watch? And Blake says, you know what, I don't really like watching curling. I want to be out there playing. But he said, being able to support his good friends and his buddies overweighs that, and he's so grateful to be here helping out his close pals. And a great experience, but he says he's not a fan of watching at all.
Oh, it's very hard when you want to get in and help. And speaking of help, Yukon Northwest Territories doing a great job at helping Jamie in this end, throwing those guards.
You probably get to that with the out turn if you want. That's pretty high up.
Saskatchewan getting a little antsy to make a move.
I think you can.
Really close. What kind of weight?
Just like
to pick on Blake again, but he did get into play one end for Team Alberta, and I think 67% that the team wrote on their blog, so they were giving him a bit of a hard time, but all in good fun. Obviously, Blake is a great player.
I kind of like running something in now.
Do you mind running?
Let's try it.
It's kind of dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
At least we should. If we go across the hair, we should roll off.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Which way are you hitting it?
Trying to hit it on the outside a bit.
Right inside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan's concern is that it is getting late in this end, and Yukon Northwest Territories has figured out exactly how to put that guard on in repeated times, so he wants to run the stone back. The risk is that you're running your opponent's stone back into the mix. Right now, there is only one yellow stone belonging to Yukon Northwest Territories that is shot.
Okay. Okay.
We'll just run that off.
Good throw, Ty.
Okay.
Or Saskatchewan has the hammer here in 7, tied up at 4. That yellow stone, Yukon Northwest Territories, shot rock, touching the Tim Hortons button.
It's better than...
Well, yeah, you don't want to hit it that much the other way.
Great. You want to see here on that side anyway, but...
Try and see what he leaves us here.
Yeah.
High yellow there.
95.
I don't mind being a 2-3. I don't mind him running it.
And you can hear Jamie not minding if he runs it, because the way, if you look at that yellow onto yellow, that red at the back goes, and he would be running one of Jamie Cooey's stones. So for Jamie, very comfortable the way this is playing out and the positioning of those stones.
Out there. Just clean.
And another intern.
Whoa, just clean.
Still 2.
Clean. Yep. Whoa. Clean. Yeah, a little bit. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You have a preference, Kathy, when you played your intern, your out turn?
Not really. There was a specific spot that most players have, and it's different by player, that I wasn't particularly fond of. But it was the same rock that I would throw over and over, and it was an intern spot just inside the line that I found I directed it a lot. But it wasn't an intern I didn't like. It was a specific spot I didn't like.
He might sit 2 after he runs it.
You're right, Jamie. You could be sitting 2 after he runs it. It's a very risky shot.
Run it in. Run the yellow in. Smash it in.
Do you like the call,
Gotta
Kathy?
get it just a whisker high.
No comment?
You know what? I probably would still be peeling that guard one more time. Just a reminder that it is only one yellow stone in that house.
Whoa!
That belongs to Yukon Northwest Territories. That is shot.
No, just go into there.
And it looks like it will be a peel. Plan B?
Last night.
That's fine.
Okay, draw
That's a
later.
good plan B.
Well, you and Russ talk about it so many times, and Linda as well, about the pro misses, about if you're going to make a mistake, miss on a certain side or a certain part of the broom, that way you're still not in big trouble if you happen to miss.
Absolutely correct.
You bet.
Gotta
touch the pin.
Yeah, and just gotta be careful. You don't want to ever bump that. Then
yeah, he hasn't made a target either. So.
And you can hear him already planning that if he throws the guard, it will be the draw to the Tim Hortons button for his single. Well, before the game, we talked about Jamie's roller coaster ride we often see at the Brier. Look at those great numbers in wins. But when he's had the losses, it usually is low 70s, high 60s. Today, this game is far from over, but at 85%, it's sending a strong message to the field, especially the front runners, that Jamie Cooey is coming after you.
Both Cooey and Manners at 85% coming into this end.
Good enough.
A very well executed end by Yukon Northwest Territories. It's not that easy to make guards well on this ice because of the big finish, but they found the spot. So this is a draw to the pin.
Looks good.
Yep. What kind of time are we looking for here, Kathy?
Well, between the Hogs this morning, it's not quite 14.5. It's closer to 14.3-ish.
Okay, you got a clock on it?
I do.
Let's play along. Final stone, 7th end.
Good.
Scott Manners.
Wait only.
Needs button.
Whoa, you're a little hot, Ryan.
Make sure.
Let it work.
Make sure
good. T line only. Right on the tee.
Line's fine.
Line's good.
Make sure.
Line's good.
Now it's on Armstrong.
Right
Dice
on the
to guide it in. What do you have,
Sliding in a
Kathy?
bit. 14.6.
Line's real good. Whoa.
Line's really good. Come on!
And at the end, big scrub at the end. Did they wait too long? Looks to be just enough for the one.
I think so.
One red?
As Nogler gives the okay, it is one red, and the crowd approves here at the Credit Union Center. They're behind Saskatchewan, and Saskatchewan leads. Scott Manners with a fantastic draw to get his single. He's played fantastic so far this morning, Kathy, and the numbers certainly prove it.
Well, the numbers prove it, but what is interesting is that he comes into this game as the best hitter amongst all skips at 91%. But what he has demonstrated time and time again this week is that he is not afraid of the draw shot as well. This is not just about draw weight, it is also about broom position, because he has very little space to draw to. Makes no mistake, great judging by Ryan Dice. Mike Armstrong, very little room for error on this shot.
Line's really good. Come on!
Starts to come off at the end. They had not left it too long. What a lovely team shot.
Perfect weight and a roar from the crowd here at the Credit Union Center as Scott Manners and his team from the Battlefords picking up the single. A close contest on this Monday morning. 5-4 Saskatchewan leads. Jamie Cooey has the hammer back here in 8.
Jamie Cooey also throwing up some great numbers this morning. 88% after 7. Comes off such a great day yesterday, and we talked about his game plan, talked about finding and keeping that form from yesterday. He has certainly done that so far. Did a great job to force Saskatchewan to 1, and what a tough one he forced him to in 7.
Whoa, lots of weight.
Yep.
And just look at the teams he beat yesterday. You have a former bronze medalist and Brad Jacobs, their great young team out of the Sioux, and then what can you say about beating Glenn Howard? Always one of the favorites every time he's here at the Brier, his 14th appearance.
There's lots of space, so they have to make a good play.
Do you like that, or do you like throwing a center?
I like Peel.
I like Peel, right?
I don't mind the center, but
Okay, well, I'm fine with that, too.
I don't mind that, guys.
Sure, yeah.
I don't mind that.
Okay.
A little higher. Keep it on my side, hey?
Play's gonna go
Same way, Ryan.
Anyways.
2.
2-3.
Yeah, 2's good.
Wait,
Room.
sir.
Where?
3. No.
3.
We're way out.
Kathy, we hear them call out numbers, and you talk about the split times. We explained that earlier to the viewers.
Yeah.
When they're yelling out the different number, they're saying 3. What does that mean?
The 2s and 3s, those are the zones in front of the house. 1 is a very high guard. 2 is about halfway. 3 is really tight. Just gives a sense of, instead of yelling back and forth like we did in the old days, sort of close, halfway, the less that you yell, the easier it is for the skip or the person holding the broom in the house to understand where the weight is.
So button would be what number?
7. Anything on the T line is a 7.
Just hack.
David Nedoin and Randy Furby made it famous, but it actually was started by Arnold Asham in Winnipeg, and David was playing with Arnold at the time and took what he had learned and he brought it, and it became very popular, and so many other teams adopted it because it just makes sense.
So if you yell 14, you're pretty much out of the building.
Run!
Gotcha.
Yep.
Good hack.
Solid. Whoa.
Forward.
Hard.
Yep. Yep.
Hard. Hard, Robbie.
I'm going to clunk that one and roll it away.
All the way, all the way, all the way. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's not bad. Shot. Beauty.
That's real good.
Hey?
That's real good.
Did a number of things with that shot. He opened up the front, rolled it over to a corner guard, brought his second shot stone with him a little bit, so Saskatchewan has to deal with now.
Go hard at the end.
Clean.
What's up, guys?
Almost bored.
Yep. Yep.
Whoa. Whoa. Off. Little firm. Right off. Just run. Off. Off. Watch this. Watch the red.
Go, Scott. Go on.
Okay. Wait.
Live look next door. Of course, one other game underway on this Monday morning here in Saskatoon, Quebec, Ontario. And Robert Desjardins from Chicoutimi, his final stone down by 2. And there you see Glenn Howard, 1, 2, 3 yellow rocks in the house.
He needs full 8 foot.
Plein vite, coin du cap.
Whoa!
Clean it.
Definitely board. No.
As Brad Churakowski delivers on our feature sheet, and a nice draw from Robert. Picks up his single, so a 6-5 contest after set.
Attaboy. Shot.
That's a lovely shot by Brad. Back-to-back, really nice shots. Leaves his team lying 2.
You like running that other
Makes
double?
the hit
You
and
like
then the
yellow,
roll.
Yellow double?
Control.
Like running their yellow?
I don't mind this.
You see it all?
Probably 3/4.
You want to go here?
Sure.
Good weight, board.
Whoa.
Easy.
Off. Clean.
Just easy.
Whoa.
Clean. Really
Clean.
easy.
Whoa. Clean.
Whoa.
Whoa. Still going back.
Trying to get to the face of the stone and get by the guard.
All on its own. Okay, tight.
Okay.
Time now, Kathy, for some player comparisons.
And this is the biggest discrepancy out here today. It is at the 3rd position where Tyler Lang has come into the game not feeling particularly well, but you would never know it from his numbers. And very consistent for Tom Nogler on draws and hits at 75%. But of course, that is a minus for the Yukon Northwest Territories. If you were giving a plus-minus advantage for sure at the 3rd position to Saskatchewan.
Tyler also a bit under the weather. Player comparisons brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Close.
Good half.
Yep. Oh. Forward. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Off. Yep. Whoa. Hard, Brad. Go.
Hoping to hit that a little bit thinner and get that inside roll.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
I like it, yeah. Good speed still.
Line's real good.
7. Weight's good.
You got lots of room.
No, stay down.
Close.
Just for weight, guys. Weight out. Just for weight. Lots of room.
Make sure.
Easy.
Make sure.
Ryan,
Go.
Trying to bury around that tight guard and get shot stone.
Go.
Nice. Armstrong got it in, and it will be shot stone for Team Saskatchewan. Line 1 without here in 8.
Just a hair more, eh? Just need to come back.
Really nice weight. Really nice shot. He's got a, yeah. Nice one.
Forward. Yep. Hard. Go.
He's trying to run his own straight back.
Gotta go.
Chorkowski, Borden's turn to scrub.
Whoa. Yeah.
Called off by the guard. Oh, a little wick.
Whoa. Robbie.
Opens up that Redstone, Saskatchewan, still line 1.
I do too. Even if we.
Yeah. It's a little quiet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and the difference when you throw it under what has been iced for is it really does move.
He just doubled.
Play that.
Yeah, and then I draw here.
And then no. And then we got this.
Then we got that. Okay.
We got this.
Stick?
I like stick, yeah.
Playing out their
You like
options.
going this way? Or?
Well,
it's up to you.
This is, yeah, I do.
Okay.
Control is like there.
Okay.
One of the things that Tom did on that last shot, of course, was open up that side. And for Saskatchewan, with that last rock, want to make sure they don't create opportunities for double. There are other yellow stones in place, too many for their comfort, and so they're playing the hit.
Scott Manners.
Whoa!
Off.
Whoa!
84% so far this Monday morning.
Clean. Clean.
Me, here up. Here up.
Yeah! Yeah! Really hard. Hard.
That's good.
Another big scrub.
Shot.
Good. Good shot.
He'll hit and stick. And for now, Saskatchewan. Line 3.
Pretty
All right.
good.
In turn.
Oh.
Yeah, this one. To get this double, don't I?
Yep. If you want to do this, you have to hit a little bit more of that one. You gotta hit
Oh,
it.
if yeah. But it might go over
Make it
top of
some
it.
action.
It probably will, yeah. I like doing this one. You?
Okay. And then what? Am I going to have a double or not? He's going to hit and roll this way. Might have a run double, I guess.
We got 6.
Okay,
Right.
what turn you want to throw? Here's the out then?
You got to throw enough weight to back this up, eh?
Yeah, it's not a lot of room there. It's there. Just throwing hard.
I was wondering if the triple is there. The double is certainly there, and you're going to move with a lot of weight when you hit these stones. The problem is that because you're coming with this sort of an angle, the shooter's likely to go up rather than to catch that back one, but he feels if he throws it hard enough, it may happen.
Now, we know he prefers the in-turn, but when it comes to, as you just pointed out, the spinning or how it'll finish, in-turn or out-turn, does it make a difference?
Well, here the out-turn, because you want a sharper angle coming off the first stone that he'll hit.
Whoa. Close.
Has to hit it very thin.
Jamie Cooey.
Whoa!
Bangs them both. Makes the double, and Yukon, Northwest Territories, lie 1.
Jeez. Squirt through there. I want to squirt through there.
Now opportunity for Saskatchewan to hit and stick and lie 2 and return the favor of forcing their opponent to 1.
Would you want to roll it all behind cover here, Kathy?
There's no need to. If he hits and sticks right there, there is no double for Jamie Cooey.
Little firmer.
Easy.
Clean. Get hard.
Really go.
Scott Manners, his final stone here on 8 without. Saskatchewan leading 5-4, and a huge scrub right away.
Wow, this is moving.
Dice Armstrong, they got to get a piece, and just enough to remove it.
Took off.
And now,
It's huge. He's giving him a shot for 4.
the door opening here for Yukon Northwest Territories. You can hear the hush over the crowd.
You asked about that roll, Brian, and it really didn't matter where Manners wound up rolling, but he needed to hit and stick for second shot. And by rolling out, you can see that hitting the angle on the yellow onto the red, potential is here for 4.
We need board just to get it out, right? Yeah.
It was back in that third end. Saskatchewan
Gotta go shade less.
took their 3.
I like this.
That was a shade, all right.
Cooey battled back, had that 2 and 6, and now chance for 4.
Jamie likes to change the ice from the hack, and Tom does not like that. He asked for a shade less, and he essentially just kind of moved his feet, and the broom didn't go anywhere. Jamie went, yeah, that's a shade.
Veteran move from Nogler. Final stone. Here in 8, a chance to really take the momentum from Saskatchewan, and Scott Manners. Cooey taps it back, keeps the shooter, and count him up. There is 4 for the Yukon Northwest Territories. What a momentum shift. 8-5, the advantage. Back to Saskatoon after this. It's time now for the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge. After the game, go to finalend.ca, enter the secret word for a chance to win a trip for 2 to see the 2013 World Junior Curling Championships in Sochi, Russia, home of the 2014 Olympic Winter Games. The first 100 entries will have a chance to win a $50 M&M gift card. All participants will get an M&M discount, and we will have the secret word a little later on in the broadcast. Well, forget final end, the last end, not what Scott Manners was looking for, but what a great shot and outcome for Jamie Cooey as he made the run back, held the shooter, and picked up a big 4 in 8, and an 8-5 advantage as the Yukon Northwest Territories have taken the momentum from this game. And Manners now hoping to manufacture a deuce here in 9, and will try to steal in 10. I guess that's the game plan, Kathy.
It is for sure. They're not out of it by a long shot.
It's all there.
It is not what they wanted to see go up on the board for sure. You never want to give up 4, and if you do, you certainly don't want to give it up in the 8th end.
Yeah, maybe not.
But he's a very calm person. We will see what this team does when they're down, but you would expect some guards. If they're able to get the deuce in this end, well, now you're down 1 coming home, and you find a way to steal, or you attempt to. Jamie Cooey and his team have played very well today. Jamie specifically playing very, very well. Making no mistake on that final stone.
Kathy, obviously a lot of curling to come, but I want to know, in your estimation, how powerful is momentum? You look at yesterday, they beat Northern Ontario, they beat Ontario. Obviously still some work to do here, but 3 wins in a row possibly for Jamie Cooey, Yukon Northwest Territories. Is that the kind of role that you need to maybe finally? He was 6-5, as we talked about, when he was here in Saskatchewan and Regina in 06. Is that the kind of role you need to get on to possibly maybe finally grind himself into a playoff position?
Oh, sure. I mean, it doesn't hurt. What is interesting is to see what Jamie Cooey showed up today. We knew he had a great day yesterday. We know that he's ultimately capable. This is a good team. He is a very good thrower, makes a lot of shots, calls a good game. But we've seen that up and down roller coaster, and sometimes overnight things change, and you don't play as well the next day. But he's come in with some great numbers today. He's not made a lot of mistakes, either mentally or in terms of execution. So all of a sudden you have 3 wins, and look at who those wins are against. These are front-running teams, Northern Ontario, Ontario, Saskatchewan. It would really give them a huge boost if they were to come through this with a W.
Nice double there from Brad Churkowski. Opens up the top.
Yeah.
Saskatchewan will patiently throw the corner guards. Worry about the stones in the house later.
Wait there, 3.
3 on its own. Yeah, that's there.
And since that first end, the first lead in the game now for Jamie Cooey. You talk about a tale of maybe the first 5 and the last 5 in this game. We were talking about Scott Manners at 94%, up to 95%. He's down to 81 now, and Jamie Cooey quietly and efficiently moving himself up to 89%. And you talked about those numbers when he plays well. Obviously great for his team, and the wins certainly come up.
Same side.
Whoa! Lead! Yep!
Yep! Hard drop!
Hard! Hard drop! Hard! Go!
I was trying to run it off, but what a great roll to the center.
Yeah. Got it cornered or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
You like corn? I don't mind cornering the other way. We utilize
Either
our
one.
corner guard then.
Either one.
Okay.
Cornering
Corner
the other
either
way.
one.
Wait there.
Pretty good.
Line's good.
6.
Line's good. Line's good, just for weight.
We're there.
Oh, room.
Room.
7.
You're set up for this right
No.
now.
7.
Come on.
We'll come down.
No. It's coming down.
We can go behind.
No.
We can go behind.
Go then. Go.
It's coming down nice.
Go. Hard. Might as well.
Live look on sheet B between Quebec and Ontario. With his final stone, Robert Desjardins made a nice little double to come in with his red stone and become shot rock. And now Glenn Howard with his final rock. Hammer here in 8, playing the tap back on that yellow top 12 to try pick up his 2. And I don't know, Kathy, depending on what happens with the shooter, maybe could spill in for 3. I don't know if the angle is there or not to roll in.
Clean. Yep. Just board.
Clean.
Yep. Clean. Clean.
Tom Nagler trying to pick out the stone just thrown.
Meantime, it's heavy brushing from Brent Lang and Scott Howard trying to get it by that red stone, and they won't. Quebec came out with steals in 1, steal in 2, and now another steal here in 8. Tied up at 6 after 8. And of course, if you're just joining us in the broadcast, Scott Howard in, Craig Saville a bit under the weather. Craig hoping to be back tonight when they face Northern Ontario.
Well, a bit of a change of tactics here by Saskatchewan. Was trying to play the corner freeze with the in-turn. They weren't able to get the finish that they were looking for. So now going to the out-turn side, trying to come through the hole.
Plenty of room.
Wait, sir.
Still there right now.
Easy.
7.
Off.
Stay close.
6.
Easy.
Clean.
It's got to curl. Switch.
Off.
It's got to curl.
Coming
Here
down.
it comes.
It's really coming down.
Make sure.
He's saying it's got to curl, Kathy, switch, and they switch positions. What does that mean?
Meaning that the gentleman on the side that they're trying to make it go to, so in this case, Ryan Dice would be the closest sweeper to the rock.
Sorry, Ty, that really came down.
Would help it move, and it did. It just did not have that last bit of weight, but it is still something for Yukon Northwest Territories to worry about.
I think just guard that.
I think so.
I think we gotta.
Pretty much got it.
Right. 2. Sec.
Or do you want to go in turn?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, we know this spot pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
Hasn't changed the call, but you saw him wanting to go in turn. We talked so much about their preference of being in turns, and in this particular case, they've thrown so many guards in this same path. And even though they've got to cross the guard that's out there, they feel they know the ice better.
Whoa.
Coming down. Coming
Light
down.
clean. Whoa.
2, 3. 2.5.
Whoa. Where?
2.
Hard.
3.
Guard then.
Go! Get across center!
Whoa. Yep.
Whoa.
Good.
Throw, Tommy.
Watch out. Throw.
Sweet, guys.
That works. Oh, perfect. He plays the intern freeze. We're guarding, right? And he'll be running to try and get 2, but if he doesn't make it perfect, it's tough to stick it, right?
Yeah, and it'll be our colors, eh? If he's running in.
Yeah, for sure. Tough juice. He's got to make this intern job perfect right now.
Timeout.
Each team with 2 timeouts per match, 90 seconds each.
My first initial thought is to freeze this way, and then Ty's like,
Kay
they guard
Montgomery
again.
will make her way
I'm
down.
Like, well, yeah, then we gotta
run back.
Then we gotta run. I mean, nothing's easy.
Pretty much gotta get 2, right? So
Yeah.
Nothing's easy, but
We could either right now
that's for
run,
3, I guess.
run this 6 straight back.
We could.
Could play this for the triple, but then
I
it
think
leaves,
you wait. I don't mind the freeze. I think
But-
if you lock on corner, at least give Scott 2 options for his last, right?
And
But
then we're playing
if,
for
if we
2.
lock on the corner,
Well,
right?
that's all we need,
Yeah.
right?
If we lock on the corner, guys, how are we ever going to get that yellow up? Because then when we run this triple in, it's jamming for sure.
Yeah,
on
well,
that.
you
Pretty
can
much
go
get the
this
face.
way,
You
Ty.
have to hope for a miss eye, or
I
you
think
run
it-
it
No,
in.
no,
Our
even
initial thought
even
is
if we
to
don't
corner
have to
freeze with the end.
Can you guys come back at the back so I can see from the end?
Kay played 3rd for Sherry Anderson at a Scotties in Calgary in 1995. Has national experience
Just
and a
initial
lot of
thoughts
coaching
are intern
experience.
freeze, but
Intern freeze?
Ty's like, well, they guard, and then I got
I'm
Hail
just
Mary and
thinking,
run through.
if we intern
It's
freeze,
there.
how are we ever getting this yellow up?
Well, they have to guard it,
Yellow,
and then
red.
we got that to run. We can either run their yellow or run that yellow.
Yes, then we got both sides.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got it wired both ways that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we
They
only
can't
have...
open
Don't even have to
Cheryl.
freeze the yellow one.
That's
Just
true.
We could corner freeze it, and then you have 2 shots, eh? You can
Yeah.
either
Yeah,
pass
that's what
that
I
one,
like,
or you
but-
can pass that one.
Yeah.
This is a setup shot.
yeah.
Okay.
We just got to
Just get it. Yeah, get it past the yellow.
I don't mind going to freeze. You want to leave it half exposed, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're just locking onto half of it,
Just
right?
like we did.
Even just like almost side by each with the yellow.
Okay.
Like even
That
here's.
doesn't do anything.
No, not side. No, side by each is
Right, like, I mean, like
oh,
right here.
There.
Yeah.
Oh, I
there,
see.
yeah.
Thought you were saying here.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Let's stick one in here.
Let's lock it
You've
on.
got some room.
Like if I'm almost in the same spot here is not terrible.
No, that's really good. I'll give you some ice. We'll get her out here.
So if I throw pretty close same weight?
Well, they
yeah,
wondered
same
about
weight
whether
would've
they
been
should
good,
be
would
running
good.
one of those yellow stones in, but what they've elected to do is to play the corner guard, the corner freeze. And the other thing that they talked about is even if they stop there, they feel that they will have two ways in. They'll be able to play this way, or they can run one of these back.
No more. That would have been
They feel that they're giving themselves two options by playing this. Placement is key.
Tyler Lang has been the top player for Saskatchewan so far this morning, 88%, and this a crucial shot in this match.
Line's good.
Make sure. Room. Tons of room.
Whoa. Where? Where are we, guys?
Gotta go.
Walk it.
Let it work.
Okay. Well,
Okay, just get it in. Yep.
Now at the end, Armstrong dice.
Okay.
We'll drag it in. So right now, Saskatchewan second and third with Hammer here in 9, down by 3.
Sorry, Scott.
No problem. I'll give you a little too much.
Was it pretty close? Or?
Oh, you're really good.
Okay. It's too bad.
It's not you.
Not leaves the triple.
Well,
it's pretty close.
Well, it's not going anywhere. It's going right into the yellow, right?
yeah.
You may as well get that red out of there, no?
It might be up on top of it though, eh?
What's that?
The yellow might be a little bit high, eh? If we get right to it.
Oh, I may as well throw a peel, no?
Oh yeah, sure.
Can I hit it? I would like to hit. But...
Anything on the inside's good.
Well, here's a look at how Jamie Cooey has made it to the national championship once again. Finished first with a 6-0 record. His 4th consecutive Brier appearance, 6th overall, and of course, we talked about his best appearance back in 2006 with that 6-5 record. And now Jamie Cooey, his first here in 9.
Well, that stone is wide open. They want to remove it. If they can get a little bit of a roll in and lock the yellows.
Attaboy.
Just gets it by and will almost spill them both.
That's a lovely shot. He didn't have a ton of room by that guard. Great brushing. Watch how tight.
Clean.
Just clean.
Just clean.
They're having a little fun with
That's
that.
a heavy clean.
Boy.
Game of inches.
When he touches the guard, it's a whole different thing because he opens it up, but instead he gets by
Normal.
in a way that those yellow stones curled.
Double, sit right there.
And so it's the double. You make that double, you roll away, you're not shot, but again, you're opening up the forefoot, opening up the forefoot.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Strong.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Clean.
Whoa.
We saw Jamie's feather that guard. Scott Manners
Whoa.
with his first. No problem.
Hard
Makes the quiet double.
Nicely done. Gets rid of that and sticks around. So now he's 2 and 3.
Nice crowd here from the fans at the Credit Union Center. Round of applause.
Oh, it's a good one. Yeah, this one, yeah.
Leaning towards the out or leaning? Okay.
We just peel it. He shouldn't have a shot for 2, no?
Yeah.
If I knows it, he's got a double, right?
Yeah. Peel her out.
Well, Jamie can't afford to leave those 2 red stones in case Scott Manners is able to pick that yellow stone out, so he's going to remove one. And you heard the call. He feels that if he rolls away completely, there won't be a shot off of it for Scott Manners. So this is not about sticking or rolling inside. It's about hitting it and going away.
Yep.
Clean.
Yep. Hard. Clean. Hard. Clean.
Clean.
All yours.
Attaboy. Beauty.
Mission accomplished, makes the red stone go away. Now can Scott Manners sneak by there with enough weight to move it far enough for 2?
Good throw.
Barely. I don't think so. It's real, because it's almost overrun.
It is.
This is tough. Whatever we do is tough. There's nothing else. I don't see much else. There's no hole.
But we still can play this and go for a steal at 2.
Let's try this. Back line.
Yeah?
We don't.
Okay.
We can't.
What do you think of that?
Like, even taking 1 Scott, like, might be better to have a better chance stealing deuce, right? Because this shot might not even be there.
What else do we have, Ty?
I'm just
Take a
saying,
single.
play a run and then take her 1 and then go for a steal. Because this is real tough.
Yeah, no, I know.
I think we try it.
You want to try it coming in?
I say we push it. We
Okay.
go for it. It's there.
Okay.
That's back line.
Okay.
I like the attitude very much. We talked in the beginning of the game that maybe Scott Manners would have too many manners today and acquiesce to everything that his team suggested. You could hear Tyler Lang very concerned, and I understand why Tyler's concerned. This stone is in front of the tee line. To get around it and tap it back, it's almost over-buried from the hack. There is very little you can see. In fact, you can't see anything.
I think the nice thing, too, though, I think Tyler presented it. He didn't try to sell it.
I agree. I agree, and when you heard Scott say, I think it's important that we go for it. Tyler, of course, looking to run one of those yellow stones back. Just make the pick out and take the 1.
All right.
Well, but you look at that from that view in the hack. There is not a lot of room.
There's none. He has to scooch by that guard and then tap it back. I think it's there for 1. The 2 with the extra weight, I don't know if he'll get the finish.
Lots of weight.
So an in-turn, quiet weight, final stone here for Scott Manners. In a tough situation to try pick up his 1. Need the weight to move it enough. Got to get by the guard first. Dice, Armstrong, crowd behind them. Get by the guard, yes. Now can they move the stone far enough? Got to go hard on it, and no.
Shake them up.
Let's shake it up.
Good game, guys.
Not enough weight. And handshakes. Make it 3 straight wins for Jamie Cooey and his team for the Yellowknife Curling Club, as Cooey improves to 3-1 at this year's Tim Hortons Brier. Saskatchewan falls to 2-2.
Brad didn't want to go for it. He just wanted to go for it. Didn't want to play another round.
Yo, peel guard.
Peel guard. Good job, boys. Way to hang tough. Yeah. As bad as the first 5 were. Yeah.
So momentum now on the side of Yukon Northwest Territories. And now 1, 2, 3, 4 teams with 3 victories. Kevin Cooey at 3-0, but now brother Jamie in the mix as well. You can hear the crowd applauding both teams. Saskatchewan dropping to 2-2, and maybe the big surprise so far this week has been Brad Yushu, Newfoundland and Labrador, still looking for their first victory at 0-3. The Yukon Northwest Territories rolling a 9-5 win over Saskatchewan. So just 1 game left now at the Credit Union Center on this Monday morning. It was the Yukon Northwest Territories beating Saskatchewan 9-5, so we shift now to Quebec, Ontario, tied up at 6. Quebec throwing the Red Rock, skipped by Robert Desjardins. Of course, Ontario led by Glenn Howard out of the Coldwater Curling Club. In Ontario, the Yellowstones. And we are at Skip Rocks now. Ontario with Hammer. And the first from Glenn Howard here in 9.
They spent a lot of time trying to decide what to do with this. The house was filled with red on Robert Desjardins' first shot. He tried a run back. He picked out his own and left the Ontario stone that is buried. Glenn talked about the guard, but elected instead to hit to lie 2. And that is the stone that Robert will now try to hit and roll.
Shot, mais on va essayer de cacher.
Laissez corps les basses. Make it good.
Howard, Team Ontario. coming off that loss to Jamie Cooey last night. They come in with a 2-1 record. Desjardins at 1-2.
Take out normal. On va rouler assez flat là, pour rester shot.
There's been some really good shots made out here today by Team Ontario, but the team from Quebec staying right with them, forcing their hand, especially from this man.
Desjardins, 64%.
Well, that's a pretty harsh 64. The shots that we've seen him make have been very, very good. We have not watched this game closely. He must have missed some easier ones, but boy, he's made some big ones.
Come on.
No roll, he'll hit and stick, and frustrated.
He's a very emotional player. It's because he cares.
He said before the Brier began, he loves curling so much, very passionate. And the one important thing he said for his teammates to keep him in check. So he's a math teacher, so he gets the stats and he knows the percentages. But he says the key for me this week is to keep those emotions in check when it comes to making shots and shot selection.
Well, it's really interesting because I've watched his third Jean-Sébastien a lot, and he is very expressive in body language. So he's, Robert's being really tough on himself. He's not the only one. They're a very emotional team, and that can be fantastic. But when you're down or you miss, it can also be really tough. Yeah. There's a draw for two now for Glenn to take a 2-point lead coming home if he's able to get to the 8-foot.
Shot. Nice spare.
Oh, no handle on that.
But it works out. In his 14th trip to the Tim Hortons Brier, a nice draw for Glenn Howard. Picks up to an 8-6 lead. Time now for the Final End Challenge. Go to finalend.ca. You can win a chance to go to the 2013 World Junior Curling Championships in Sochi, Russia, home of the 2014 Olympic Winter Games. You have to log on and put in the secret word, and the secret word, pizza.
Lunch.
There it is, so pizza. Go to finalend.ca now, the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge. And now the challenge for Team Quebec is to try and pick up 2 here in this 10th end. 1 game remaining on the ice here at the Credit Union Center, Ontario, Quebec. It was Glenn Howard, a nice draw for 2 and 9. An 8-6 lead with Stones on the way here in 10. And you see lead Stones coming here from Scott Howard, the 5th of this team. If you're just joining the broadcast, we've mentioned it a few times. Craig Saville under the weather. Craig hopes to be back on the ice tonight when Ontario battles Northern Ontario.
There has been a deuce in this game by Quebec. Only one, though, for Quebec. That was in the 5th end. And so for Steve Villeneuve, we'll try to throw a corner guard and get things going for his team.
OK, on va arrêter, là, parce qu'on va dans la mort. C'est bon, good spot.
Ça perd vite, une chance.
What do you like?
Haven't really watched this ice at
Straight on
all.
the can, eh?
It curled a lot, that corner guard.
Right on it. Yeah.
Right on it. Freeze to it, Gomer.
Same weight, fellas. I think it's there. That's there. That's
nice
there.
effort for Scott this morning, 89%.
I got the same weight, boys.
Very nice.
Rub. Rub. Whoa. Got a curl. Looks hotter. Whoa. Waiter. 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 Waiter.
Yikes.
Yep.
Well, really? Come on.
Okay.
Sorry, Gomer. The curls to the nose, it's fine.
Ligne est excellente.
Slow, hein?
Même hauteur que l'autre, les boys. Même hauteur que l'autre.
Descendre dedans.
Reste là, là.
Ah, va peut-être descendre un peu plus.
Sit down.
Pas mauvais. Il est flat.
Good.
Well, now, sorry, Brian was going to say now that he's able to, and with those stones in the 4-foot, Glenn will try to remove those corner guards. He'd love to be able to remove one of those yellow ones too, to be honest. Set up in a nice little pocket for Quebec. That's why you saw Scott so angry with where his stone wound up.
Clean. Clean. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Brett Lang, second
Whoa,
stones
good.
for Team Ontario.
Throw there.
Makes the guard go away.
Try, Scott.
Sorry about the last one.
You threw it fine.
Here,
Pound heavy.
Yeah.
Such a consistent team over the years.
Yes.
Howard, pretty tough, has lost 4 Brier finals since 2006. Of course, 1-1 over that span. That win in Hamilton in 2007. And of course, his 14th appearance, tying his brother Russ Howard.
Si ça a l'air pesant, méfiez-vous. Ouais, correct. Égal à l'eau. Good spot. Shot. Good job. Bass, c'est ta première? Ouais.
Kathy, time now for the game story.
Well, in this game, it has been Quebec that has been forcing Glenn Howard. Steals in 1, 2, and 8. Howard finally drew for 2 and 9. We had a chance to see that. The difference, of course, we talked about 60% for Robert. The shots that I have seen him make have been fantastic. He's made some great shots when Ontario was set up. Those led to steals. So it's one of those situations that his overall number is not good, but the timing of when he has made some of those shots, Brian, has been huge.
Ontario also picking up that 3 spot in the 6-10. Game story brought to you by M&M Meat Shops. Hundreds of meal ideas, 1 aisle.
Good. Ouais, t'as raison. Dangereux elle que l'autre. On turn. Ton petit je pense que oui. Turn. T'arrives dessus, tu meurs en la tapant une petite affaire, puis elle sort plus.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, I didn't have a kahunas. Good throws.
That's perfect for the double in the hot shots.
Wayne Middaugh, of course, the Hot Shots winner and the new addition. I guess what's old is new again, but a new addition, of course, joining this team. Richard Hart, longtime third for Team Ontario, retiring from the game.
Well, and Wayne is such a brilliant player in his own right, playing a number of positions, of course, with Russ and Glenn back in the day, and then a skip for a long time. For a while, his team was almost untouchable, impossible to beat. And then it just kind of went by the wayside, as all good teams do, and got an opportunity to play with Glenn, and there's no question about the ability. Some of the chemistry, we wondered in the beginning, they didn't get the results that they were looking for, but a lot of that is just gelling time.
Middaugh called it a dream to be in this position right now, a chance to win each and every game that he plays. He also could be the first person to win a Brier at 3 positions, that being Middaugh. How about this? All-time games played, you have Glenn Howard, 173. His son Scott only 169 behind him. But how about Brett Lang? He'll play number 100 tonight. Of course, Craig Saville a bit under the weather right now. And Wayne Middaugh, if he plays every game in the round robin, and if they happen to make the playoffs and he makes a playoff game, he'll also hit 100. So that's pretty impressive. Of course, the leader, Russ Howard. And Glenn will also tie him for that tonight when they play Northern Ontario. Very, very impressive.
Oh, it is remarkable. When you think about it, you only play 11 games in a round robin. If you don't make the playoffs, that 100-plus figure is insane.
Some people play their entire lives just to try playing one. Wayne Middaugh, the Hot Shots winner this week at the Tim Hortons Brier.
Would love to move a ton of granite here.
Good.
He'll spill 2.
Well, more importantly, he left his shooter in a better position than where Scott had drawn beside it. There's that scratch on the ice that the team spent a lot of time looking at this morning before it started. They called the ice maker out. They took a look at it. They ran their hands across to see whether it's deeply embedded in the ice or whether it's a surface scratch. We've not seen a lot of rocks go over it this morning. We haven't seen that it's been an issue, but it certainly is glaring and there.
Que je puisse faire le draw ici puis être shot. Tu comprends? Hack.
We talked about Glenn Howard and the team, the accomplishments in his 14 trips, Kathy, to the Brier. Missed the playoffs once, which is remarkable.
Go down. Clean.
Truly is for Jean-Sébastien. What he's been asked to do is play about hack weight, wants to tap one of those stones back, but hoping that he may be able to also get a roll behind the corner guard, but it's going the other way.
Jean-Sébastien will not get both. Shooter will stick around.
He really wasn't looking to connect with both. What he really was hoping is that his shooter, instead of being on that side of the house, it in fact would be on the other side of the house behind the corner guard. But with it being wide open, Glenn Howard will just make it go away. And this is not one of those shots that you want to stick around on for your opponent that is down 2. They are looking for any edge, any opportunity to have rocks in play. And for Glenn, you do not want to help them.
Off!
Hard!
Off!
Just
clean.
firm.
Just clean.
Just firm.
Just clean, okay.
Glenn Howard.
Nicely done.
Makes it go away.
Wow. I guess. I don't.
Nice weight.
Wow. It's all about making the rock go away, right? Yeah. You can do it with hack if you want.
Talking with Glenn before the Brier. Hates finishing second.
Oh.
And it's been a tough run. You look at those Brier finals that he lost, 4 of them since 2006, and then you throw in the Olympic curling trials as well in Edmonton, losing to Kevin Martin. But just a great player, great team, and so consistent over the years. Always there, it seems, in the big games.
Okay.
Yeah, second is really tough.
Well, you look, Jeff Stoughton last year, they curled out of this world. The whole team in the 90s, I believe they actually set a Brier record for percentages. And John Meade, what can you say? He was fantastic in that final.
With only one yellow stone in there, his decision is to forget all about that one for now, try to get behind the corner guard. Very a really good one.
Go, 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 go! Go hard!
Go hard!
Keep going, go hard! Go hard!
Going to take it back to get better line as they go back deeper.
Okay. Trop fort.
Un peu fort, mais la ligne est bonne. Si elle freeze pas, si elle freeze juste droite, on a peut-être un double avec un extra. Je pense que c'est des boys là.
Glenn looking at Scott to see how much he can see from the hack.
See about half.
Half.
Draw.
Right here. Small half.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Lock it on.
No, that's what I thought too.
Okay. So he will draw on top.
And Kathy, the draw, instead of maybe trying to play the quiet way to tap it out?
You know what, if that stone was higher up in the house or sticking out a little bit, you can expect that Glenn would make a play at it, but he's a seasoned veteran, and when a rock is overburied, just because you want it gone is not the reason to play that weight. If he comes down and freezes to this stone, wants to take that advantage, we'll just have to worry about the double.
We need something.
No, you're not touching it.
Scott's saying it's heavy, needs something. Needs to rub it a little bit. Needs the brakes quick. It's got to stop. And it won't. And now the door opens again for Quebec here. An open hit for 2.
Sorry, guys. Hey? That slid pretty good, didn't it?
We are not accustomed to seeing that from Glenn Howard.
Not at all.
Bumper knows it.
And it's funny, Kathy, they've really been in those kind of games the last few, especially early on here. You look even last night, Yukon Northwest Territories.
Yes.
Yes, Sylvain. Capable. Capable.
So now an opportunity for Team Quebec here in 10. Robert Desjardins out of Chicoutimi. An open hit. Needs to stick around and a chance to force extras here on this Monday morning here in Saskatoon.
Just clean, just clean. Yeah. Yep, hard, go. Hard. Hard. Yep, yep, yep. Hard.
Monroe, good move. Good scrub, and there it is. 1-2 for Quebec. And we have a little bit of extra time here in Saskatoon at the Credit Union Center. We're tied up at 8, Ontario with Hammer in 11.
The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Roll Up the Rim to Win. It's time for Tim's. The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by World Financial Group. Proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies. By Scotties, proud supporter of women's curling for over 30 years. And by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
The MLS on TSN is back. We're kicking off the season with an all-Canadian matchup as the Vancouver Whitecaps open their season at home against the newest Canadian team, the Montreal Impact. Live coverage Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Canada's Sports Leader. And we have some extra time here. Only 2 games on the ice this morning. In our feature matchup, it was Jamie Cooey beating Saskatchewan 9-5, and now extras needed. 8-8. Quebec, Ontario, all locked up. It was Glenn Howard with his final stone coming in heavy with his straw that allowed Robert Desjardins to hit, stick, pick up his pair, and that's where we are here in 11 with lead stones underway. Steve Villeneuve, lead stones for Quebec, the team out of the Chicoutimi Curling Club.
Well, and we saw in the last stone, I think it was thrown by the third, Jean-Sébastien, when he went around, that it doesn't finish until the end. It's not a big warp. It's just a very slow, gradual movement. And as the weight comes off, it really curls. So it's not that Glenn overthrew that dramatically. It's just that without throwing it to the sweepers, it ran a lot straighter. Did not catch that curl, and the weight doesn't come off until the curl starts.
Real slow. Close. Whoa, whoa. No.
Trying to play the tick.
Come on.
Okay.
Just misses that.
Frustration for young Scott Howard. It was that close to being perfect, maybe another inch or so. And he makes the shot.
Make it good, Stevie. Stay là, c'est correct. Top 12 at top 4.
Chance for Steve here after throwing the first guard. Some teams would choose to throw another guard to make sure that they've got some things up front. But the decision by Quebec is to go around right away.
Come on. Go, 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 go.
And all 3 men will drag it, finding 8 foot. Pretty much wide open, though.
Basically the same weight, Scott. Same weight.
They're not playing the tick here, Kathy. They're playing the stone in the house.
Stone in the house.
Yep. Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
Close.
Clean.
Clean.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Clean.
Whoa.
And as soon as he can, Glenn will start to run those stones out front, but still cannot, and so makes that play. Would love to hang just about there.
Spin.
Needs that little spin back in, and it won't. Mind you, from this view, Brett Lang takes a look. Sometimes it's tough to tell from that overhead camera.
Patient pour la ligne. Non, ligne est très belle. Ligne est parfaite. Oh, patient un peu si vous pouvez, gars. La flotte. Très sur le tee. L'important, c'est le tee-line. Très sur le tee. Go, 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 go! Même c'est deep. Go, go, go! Go, Bass! Go, go, go! Shot, Steven. Shot.
Back line. Just hack. Hack.
What's this gonna do?
It tracks a bit.
It ran straight.
Nah,
That rock curls.
Now, look at that.
Yeah.
Suggests that stone is definitely not in. Sometimes when you stick around on those, that's your insurance point. That's your win point. Brent Lang just asking what this will do. Wants to make sure that he calls on the same page as does Glenn Howard.
Walls, yep. Hard. Whoa. Whoa.
Less than Gomer.
Whoa. Just hack. Whoa, 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 lots of weight, lots of weight.
Where do you want to roll?
No, it's going over there.
Good shot.
Parfait. L'important, c'est d'être T-line.
And for Quebec, they don't care if there are 6 rocks out there on the side to steal in this extra end. They know they're going to need more than an 8-foot shot, and so we'll utilize that guard and continue to find a way to try to bury just that little bit better.
Stephen Monroe, second stones for Team Quebec.
Peut-être back 4.
Oh, no. Laisse-la grabber d'abord. Laisse-la grabber. Finis sur le tee. Go, Glenn, a bit. Good shot, man. Good.
Oh, Mike, sit down. Like peeling it? Peel?
That's in the back.
You
of
like?
It's
Yeah.
there.
What do you think?
It's still early.
Not yet.
Yeah, peel. You're right. Peel for a
Peel
couple.
it.
Peel for a couple. Yeah.
I think for sure the peel is the call. That stone is deep. It's behind the tee line. If that were right on the Tim Hortons, you might want to start to think about things when you get to your 3rd stone, but it is only the 2nd stone of Brent Lang's, who is the 2nd. You peel it, put the pressure on Quebec to continue to guard, and they are guarding a stone that is behind the tee line.
You got to peel for a couple.
Yeah.
And I guess the thought process too, Kathy, maybe you hope that Quebec a guard a little bit off, then you can try a run back double and still lose the shooter.
Well, sure. And again, Quebec will continue to guard a stone that is deep. Even if they make it all perfectly, Glenn will have a shot. He doesn't have to tap a stone back, as we just saw Scott Manners have to try to do in 9. Could come down to the face.
Patience, vous pouvez.
But for Quebec, we'll work with what they have.
Patience, vous pouvez pas faire traquer.
Ligne est bonne.
Ligne est bonne. Deux, les gars.
Jean-Sébastien Roy, 3rd stones for Team Quebec.
Very hard, come on! Tout le long, guys, go hard! Go hard!
Monroe Villeneuve being urged on by Robert Desjardins.
Go!
Trying to find that line.
Good spot.
Good brushing to bring it over. There wasn't a concern about the weight. It was just the finish. It takes a very long time on this out-turn side to have the rocks finish. They go there all the time, but they do take their time to get there.
And another successful peel for Wayne Middaugh. Actually beat Craig Saville in the Hot Shots final. Of course, Craig, as mentioned, a little under the weather. We'll hope to see him back tonight when they take on Northern Ontario. Wishing him the best.
Ligne est parfaite.
Ligne est bonne.
T'es deux!
Ligne est bonne. Juste deux, sinon on va le faire. Oh, elle est bonne là. Oh, c'est la ligne.
And now that stone back 4 is wide open.
That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Board. Kick.
Well, it's decision time. You certainly can see all of this stone in the 4-foot and can make it go away. But there is that guard out front, and of course the risk that Quebec could make it even better.
Yep. Gotta go. Gotta go hard.
And right out of his hand,
Gotta go hard.
Scott Howard, Brent Lang,
Go.
trying to sneak it by that guard. They get it by. And they play the tap now, but behind that tee line a little bit, and there's some room there for the pin.
I don't know.
There's definitely a room for Quebec to lock it on. Then you have to worry about how you get it out.
Oh, come on.
ça. Plus que ça, là? Tu fais ça?
Zoom.
Ouais, tu peux aller à la vis, tu prenais ça. C'est quasiment à la vis.
Ah
tu sais.
non, elle se rendait pas à vis, c'est ça l'affaire.
OK, tu prends.
se rendait
Mettons,
pas à
si on
vis.
voulait jouer à la vis direct, juste pas de backing, c'est ça? On va prendre
Ouais.
un peu serré pour être sûr.
Ça, je pense que c'est pas pire.
Go make it.
There's room for sure.
Freeze. Freeze.
Si on est juste freeze, on est shot.
Faut juste qu'elle fasse. Oh.
Quebec, of course. Robert Desjardins opened things up
Si on n'a pas de ligne, ben, elle est juste pour freeze.
in their opener, beating Manitoba. Rob Fowler in a close game. 2 losses since then, a 1-2 record.
Un petit peu moins basse.
Pas de trouble.
On va attendre tout le long sinon.
Pas de trouble.
3-10 encore, c'est bon?
Never doubt about the shot. They've had some discussions about where to put the broom, and from the hack, Robert takes just a little less.
Interesting, Kathy. He practices sometimes without his broom coming out of the hack. Says he really likes to focus on his balance to stay steady and as consistent as possible.
Ça a l'air pesant.
Oh!
Attends. Stay close. Stay close.
Push!
Non, 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 non,
No
non.
brushes yet.
Non.
Curl. Finish. No. Yes! Finish.
No!
Needs to finish up.
Sit. Sit.
Get that button. Bumps it a bit. And Quebec now. Line 1 without. Here at 11.
Shot.
Good call, Bass.
Ouais, fallait surtout
une bonne
pas
chance.
toucher.
À la fin, je voyais qu'elle était. La vue, je voyais qu'elle était belle, jusqu'à qu'elle se rende.
On va essayer de faire nos zips comme Wayne vient de faire. Là.
I was thinking more get to the nose.
Yeah.
But even if you did that,
Yeah, and I think we can come off that. That's true.
Yeah, but he's going to be able to guard. He's going to be able to guard it in the hole. Yeah, it'd be close. Maybe. You try and nose it. Same shot I threw.
Okay, but
What do you figure I was? Hack?
you were hacked. Yeah.
Okay. What are you going to throw?
Solid hack.
Same weight? Okay.
Now, Kathy, I'm right behind the sheet, and he's got at least a half a rock to look at when sitting in that hack.
Well, there was 2 discussions. Brett Lang wondering if you hit the front red one, and even if you jam and you roll away, you give yourself an option off of that. But Glenn feels that he can get to the nose, and he should be able to get to the nose on the final stone that we just saw thrown by Robert. He had tons of room by the guard, lots and lots. Wayne Madaw threw hack in this spot. He's going to try to throw hack.
So a big shot here in 11, Kathy.
Get to the nose.
Weight's good. Yep.
Clean.
Glenn Howard.
Clean. Clean.
Yep.
whoa, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa,
Picking.
whoa.
It's picking.
Clean it. Whoa, whoa. Needs to go, needs to go, needs to go. Let it go, let it go.
Worry
let it go,
about the
let it go,
rock.
let it
Worried it's picking. Got to get
Might
over.
lucky.
Hits that red stone. Drives it enough.
go. Good shot,
Good
Glenn.
shot.
And Ontario now line
Got
1.
lucky.
That's probably as good as he was going to make that shot, Brian. That's a
It
tough
did.
shot.
It goes down. It's awful. It's just flatter to pancake.
Yeah. It's just mud down the middle.
Watch the handle. They're talking about picking and talking about that he's saying flat as a handle. It's lost its pebble is what they're saying, and so the handle wants to flatten out. We saw, there it goes. There's no handle on this stone as it comes into the house. And
C'est ce double-là est à peu près le
Camille Larouche will come out to talk with Quebec, but for Glenn Howard, just to finish that, this is a guy that plays on arena ice all the time and knows about rotation, so he's throwing.
Il faut juste garder le shooter ici ou là. Si on est là, il va peut-être tirer quand même sur les lignes. On vient de tirer ça ici.
Camille, of course, the father of Marie-France, who we had the opportunity to watch at the Scotties.
Hack. Collez-moi le weight, les gars. OK, let's go up.
Wants to come down to the face of that yellow stone and tap it out. Will roll his shooter, which will force Glenn to either make a draw to the Tim Hortons or to make the double for the win.
What? 2-9 pour l'AG, devrait en avoir assez.
Desjardins was a third last year in London at the Brier. Quebec had a 3-8 record. He's been in some very close games so far this year in Saskatoon. And now here in 11, trying to pull off another upset here against Glenn Howard.
Yep. Hike. Down. Down.
Needing a steal here, his final at 11 without Hammer. And a scrub all the way. Villeneuve, Monroe, get it by the guard. Yes, they do sneak it by. Hit it on the nose. Yes, they do avoid the jam. And what a shot as Quebec lies 2.
Well, he was playing the hit and roll in front of his own, but great brushing, Brian, to get this stone by and to keep going so it doesn't overcurl and jam on his own.
Just feathers that guard ever so closely. You hear the crowd react here at the Credit Union Center. We've seen a lot of close ones. If this keeps up, Kathy, you'll put scooch in the dictionary by the end of the week.
Holy crowley.
Just don't hit it early.
Well swept. Well, he's done his job and some. Forces Glenn Howard to make a tough one to win.
So it comes down to this.
Weight's there. Line's good. Clean
Final
it.
stone here in 11 for Team Ontario. Glenn Howard.
Clean. Clean it.
Weight's
Whoa.
there.
Whoa.
14th appearance here at the Tim Hortons Brier.
Back 4, back 8.
Whoa. Needs to curl a bit. Clean it. Whoa.
Needs
Clean
to finish up.
Clean it. Long as it's back 4. Long as it's back 4. Yep.
It's got to finish. Bump it enough for shot stone, and yes. As Glenn Howard, the former champ, comes through in the clutch here in 11 to beat Team Quebec. It wasn't pretty. Gave up a steal in 1, another steal in 2, but battled back to pick up a crucial victory. And with that win, look at the teams now with 3 victories. Alberta, Nova Scotia, Manitoba, Yukon Northwest Territories, a nice early surprise at 3-1. And now Glenn Howard, Team Ontario at 3-1 as well. And just a reminder, lots more coverage to come here on TSN on this Monday. Manitoba, Rob Fowler at 3-1 will take on Jim Carter at 1-2 as Cotter looks to pick up his second win at this year's Tim Hortons Brier. Coverage at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, Manners versus Cooey was a close battle until Jamie pulled away and pulled off a victory. On behalf of Kathy Gauthier, myself, and the entire crew, thank you for watching Canada's sports leader, TSN. It's the Brier here in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.